Pool decks or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit cantycanfixit.com. Canty can fix it.
Are you suffering from seasonal allergies? Because you're not alone. Experts say pollen season started earlier this year and will last longer, and that folks who've never had issues before are feeling miserable. I'm Martin Hoke, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Over 3 million people use Navage to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Navage helps clear your sinuses quickly and naturally. But what about other people's experiences, like Miss Clement? Quote, I chose Navage because of my persistent allergies. Navage works. While using it, I cut back on allergy meds and occasional shots at my doctor's office. Unquote. That's one of over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Stop suffering and try Navage today at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
South Carolina fans, this is Spencer Rattler. The Garnet Trust is making a difference by connecting fans like you with athletes like me through NIL deals. Head on over to garnettrust.com to find out how you can support me and my teammates for as little as $10.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone. Let's do this together.
And I'm Steven Samuels. When you're hurt at work, my team is with you from start to finish. We're people with a passion for helping injured workers. Bring your case to us and stop the worrying. We've got this.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Hey everyone, a good morning to you. It's time for a First Alert traffic update. As we keep on into this one, damp road conditions could easily be posing a problem, so I just want to make sure you are taking it easy. But as of right now, have not seen anything popping up on our map indicating big backups or confirmed collisions. So continuing on, it is going to be a relatively better second half of the day, but make sure you keep listening and checking back for more First Alert traffic updates. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli. Make it a great day.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios, this is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
(803-404-6100) if you want to join us this morning via the Love Chevy phone lines or via the Firehouse Subs text line, which I will again get to here in just a little while. Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, Preston Thorne, and Langston Moore making an appearance here on the early game this morning as y'all will be heading out. Where are we heading to today?
Back down to Walterboro, Colleton County.
Colleton County.
Going back down the road.
So Jen and I will hold down the fort here. Producer Ed Bird back in studio. So we got the true family full house environment going on.
We got everybody.
We'll include Tony Annan in a little while, maybe a soccer player or two, and we'll probably let some kids talk as well because let the kids enjoy a little bit of a summertime vibe.
Well, you know what's going to happen. They're going to be doing all that talking until you get to the microphone.
Oh yeah, I know.
Clam up.
They come. Well, first they don't know what exactly is happening over here. Then they think we're ESPN broadcasters, and they're all being shown today. And then there's a whole bunch of confusion, and nobody ever really knows what's going on.
Yeah, it's always great when a kid walks up to you and is like, "What is this going to be on ESPN, CNN?"
Yeah,
like, no, sir, we're just recording this on our phone and just, put it on Facebook.
The kid doesn't bother me. It's the parent that walks up and goes, "Now, where can I see this tonight on the local news?" You're like, well, let's start with it's just radio, and then let's go from the standpoint of. We're just a 6 to 9 morning show, but so the national attention maybe not the same. So that leads me to something I saw nationally yesterday. I started thinking about this. Let me ask you guys: has Giannis, even with a World championship under his belt, has Giannis Antetokounmpo gotten maybe the respect that he deserves? Like I'll ask you, you've brought this up multiple times. Y'all gone into schools during the school year and you see Ja Morant jerseys, you see Steph Curry jerseys, maybe you still see Zion jerseys. How many Antetokounmpo jerseys have you seen?
Not many, unless if you see a Giannis jersey, you would be like, oh, that kid's a hardcore basketball person. You know that they, whether he or she, that they are really, really into basketball. But as far as just the general casual, that's a great point that I haven't really thought of, but you don't see it very often.
Yeah, and as soon as you brought that up, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a kid with a Bucks jersey or even bring that name up. And we talk about it all the time. And I had to ask Preston a couple weeks ago, it's like, the Bucks won a championship a couple years ago, right? And you think about how big that was for their franchise, for Giannis to kind of submit who he was. He had the MVP, but again, I mean, that was only a few years ago, and this guy's been an MVP. But you're talking about star power and different things. Like I don't really know. I don't really know if he can fills out that cachet.
Nikola Jokic is a 2-time MVP, and very well may be the best player in the NBA.
Can you run down the stat line from last night?
32,
crazy,
21, and 10. He's averaging a triple-double. And the first
and I want to and to be clear, it's not a jump triple-double like Russell Westbrook,
right?
Where he's just stat line and he just all of this stuff counts. He's scoring buckets when he needs to. He's getting boards, outlet passes. He runs the offense through him at the high post. He does everything that this team needs him to do.
It is wildly strange. There are more often you see the centers, Bam Adebayo and Nikola, bringing the ball up in offenses. And last night, again, as you mentioned, and he's just dominant. I mean, his passing skill, I don't know, last night, I think I enjoyed, what is it, Mark Jackson,
Van Gundy,
and I can't remember Breen, but Mike Breen. But one of them was like he passes like magic and he shoots like Bird, and I think it was Mark Jackson. Whoa, buddy! Like, but you start thinking about it again.
It sounds crazy, but
44 minutes and he was efficient. 12 of 21, 21 rebounds, 10 assists, 32 points last night. If he went to Duke and was American. If he went to Duke and was American, would we be talking about him as one of the greatest of all time?
It's really interesting you say that. I think there's two reasons, and there's two things. So there's obviously the aspect of him being a foreigner, right? But he's not just a foreigner. He's not like he's Tony Annan, who can come in here and speak English and converse, even though he's from another country. He obviously English is his second language, so he's limited in how much he can really interact with folks. And then, two, even in his native language, I don't think he's a real personable guy. He's kind of a straight down to business type of dude. And that's kind of the thing that, Giannis, English is his second language. Giannis is happy-go-lucky, and he's talking, and he's kind of the life of the party a little bit. Jokic is like, I must destroy you. And that's sort of how sort of his lane.
And I forgot about his brothers.
we don't even talk about
because
them.
I don't know if y'all heard last night. Like his brothers, like halfway through the first quarter, were basically challenging an entire section of the Miami area. Like not like people around them, but like apparently the whole section of the Miami arena. But it is interesting because this guy, and I've said it, Preston, we said it last week, kind of going into game one, and said if you got. I'm not saying watch 48 minutes of NBA basketball. I get it. Some people get just very fired up. I'm not watching that sport. And I'm not. Take 20 or 30 minutes and watch this guy play because it is a different level than anybody. I mean, some of the passes he makes, and I think somebody hit us up on the Firehouse Subtext line and said just the YouTube clips of his passes.
He made a two-hand bounce pass through the lane yesterday from the high post, took it, ran it around, two-hand bounce pass, right on the money. And it's like, how do you do that? Well, how do you even see that happening?
I think one of the biggest points is he's not slowing down. Like at this time of the season, they always talked about his weight problems and conditioning.
Oh, that's another part.
Ascending. Like I don't think we're even touching on the ceiling yet. And you talk about he finished with 21 rebounds. 20. I saw he had 19 in like the third quarter, so he's slacking a little bit. He only had 2 more rebounds, but didn't need it when I got all these other points and assists.
That would be the second aspect of why he might not be a star, because when you think
he looks like a potato.
He looks like a potato, man. If you was to turn on the game and say who's the best player on this field, I don't know if anybody would pick him. Just from the way his body, and then when you watch him run, every step looks like it hurts. His arms always cut up. He's throwing the ball at some weird angle. It doesn't, to the eye, it doesn't.
It's not
look
pleasing.
Great. It's not.
It's not. I mean, Jamal Murray is coming off screen, and draining threes in front of the basket, and you think about like Kobe Bryant was fun. Allen Iverson was fun to watch.
Shaq was dominant. You know, he was like, oh man, Shaq is amazing looking.
Shaq was dominant, and this goes back to kind of where I was saying, like, but Shaq was American, and Shaq played at LSU, and had that. And not only did Jokic not play college, he was the 42nd pick. This wasn't a guy that was like even like a Giannis Antetokounmpo or Victor Wembanyama, who's drawing attention because he's going to be from France and he's not going to play college ball. But this is a guy who's the 42nd pick who, as y'all just said, has blossomed into an absolute superstar.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I would like to – a lot of times they talk about guys that are speaking the English as their second language. Sometimes they get pretty tight because they don't want to say something wrong or, you know, use the wrong word or look silly in front of American media. So a lot of times they keep their personality. I would love to see him in his native land to see maybe what type of personality he actually has, because he's sort of, you can tell he's sort of keeping it tight. But then also, you know, you have the goons, his brother behind him. They're fully tatted up. They look like they're coming out of some back brawl battle or something like that.
They came from the Fight Club.
All they're missing is a couple of those Russian jumpsuits back in the day, and some of the, you know, the tank tops there.
Speaking of like Bert Kreischer, he's like, man, these are the dudes that he's messing with in the Russian mafia.
Igor and
the Serbian mafia. These are the dudes. But I would love to see it. And then also when you watch Jokic, his whole game is below the rim.
Oh yeah,
nothing is above the rim at all. Everything is a layup, a hook. Who throws hook shots anymore?
Well, he had one last night early in the game, and this one went, he's kind of figured out. He got Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler is physically imposing and does what he wants. And he got Butler in the lane, and it was like me backing down Austin Myers. Just I'm going to the middle of the lane, and then I'm just going to lean over the basket and toss it in very nicely.
Man, you think about the juxtaposition between Shaq and Nikola. Like, that shot is so just soft. And like you said, just bounces around. But Shaq is either going to hit in there, he's going to slam it in there, or it's just going to dunk off. And that's the thing, to have that touch, to bring the ball up, game 3 after running the whole Western Conference. Like, I'm just telling you, as a big man, to keep that stamina, because, again, it's real easy to hide over there in the corner and just, let me just pass it. Let me just get over here and rebound a little bit. But he's facilitating. He's doing it all. And, again, he's the main engine that's making this whole thing go.
It's funny you mentioned that about Shaq, because the other day, Austin and I went to a restaurant, and we were getting some lunch, and the old documentary that's come out onto the 2001 Sixers about Allen Iverson and Larry Brown. And so, but prior to that, they were showing the Sixers Lakers game for that year. And I think in that game, Shaq had like 46 and 20. It was just ridiculous. But as we're watching, Shaq shoots the first free throw and it goes in, and Austin goes, I thought he was supposed to be bad at shooting free throws. Like, I thought that was something. And Shaq shot the next one, and it like hit the side of the rim and hit the side of the backboard, and like, you know, almost took Phil Jackson's mustache. Like, it was just, and Austin goes, and you're right. Jokic is down there draining them, but it is interesting to see. I don't know if bias is the right word.
I think that's fair,
because he's never going to be the superstar that Jamal Murray will simply be, because Murray's American and went to Kentucky.
Well, that's Stephen A. Smith got in some hot water last year because he brought up the same concept about Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
And what he was saying, and people were like, oh, how could you say that? And it's not what he was saying. What he was saying is, the language barrier limits the marketability of these guys. And it kind of makes it to where it's difficult to sell these folks who aren't able to get up here and say, hey, I'm Nikola Jokic, absolute glass. Like, he's not able to do those types of things.
We got to hit a break, but I'll tell you a guy who's breaking through. He's a good basket. He's he's in the NBA, so he's good enough to be in the NBA. Boban
Great point.
We were watching last night, and he had that goldfish commercial where they hold up the little bag and he says, I'll have a handful.
My question is, how is Boban? Because he's doing the Lowe's commercial. He's pulling up mayonnaise off of stuff. He's on the goldfish. And a guy who plays above the rim and is more of an active player. One of the guys, maybe Michael Porter, one of those guys is in the goldfish commercial. He's the star, but he doesn't even have his talking role.
Yeah, but I think it's Boban's just that type of guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I don't think Jokic is here for the nonsense.
He's becoming one of my favorite. We got to hit a break here. We got to try and stay on track. We'll get back into some of that, ask y'all about some baseball as well. Maybe now that we're on campus together, a little trip down memory lane.
Base West is right over there. It might be good that they're tearing that building down so we can walk some sage around it like Kyrie Irving and excavate some of those memories. But there's some good memories in there, Bill. I'll just tell you. Shout out to John Austin, your boy.
803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Summertime is upon us, and that means making sure that your heating and air unit is working properly. You don't want to come home after a long day of work and find out that the heating and air unit has gone out. You want it to be working properly each and every day. So contact AAA Heating and Air today. Get in touch with them and get a maintenance lined up. Just $69. But here's the best part. Here's the absolute best part. If there is something that needs to be fixed and you approve it, AAA Heating and Air will waive the $69 fee. So therefore, you're either paying $69 to make sure everything's working properly, or you're getting a free maintenance checkup and then needing to get something fixed. Whatever it is, I'm telling you, the Columbia summers are not something to mess with. There's a reason Columbia is labeled famously hot. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. If you're looking for a brand new heating and air unit, there's a lot of ways to save a lot of money right now. And AAA Heating and Air, their comfort advisors can explain that to you. $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit, guaranteed financing, and a 15-year parts and labor warranty. Don't wait any longer. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for the Hood team from Coldwell Banker. And as I've been telling you, another fantastic opportunity for a dream home purchase is available on Lake Murray. Hood team is ready to tell you about a 3,600 square foot home on the Lexington side of the lake near Batesburg, Leesville. 176 feet of waterfront, so you can do a lot with that. It's just 20 minutes from Lexington, about 40 minutes from downtown Columbia. It's a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath house, plus it has an in-ground pool complete with a 500 square foot pool house with a full bath and shower. You can have a lot of fun with a place like this. At $1.15 million, it will not be on the market very long. For this and so much more, call Danny Hood, Karen Hood, William DiMaggio, the Hood team at 803-730-2512. Online, thehoodteam.com. Another dream home on the lake could be yours from the Hood team.
Attention all craft beer anglers. Angry Fish Brewing Company is having its 5th anniversary celebration this Saturday. Kicking off at noon, come enjoy specialty brews throughout the day like Nothing Easy, Keg of 2021, and many more. The popular brews won't last long, so don't miss out. Sarah's Rockin' Kitchen food truck will be there, and great local bands playing throughout the day and into the evening. Plus, plenty of Angry Fish swag to purchase. Angry Fish Brewing Company, 106 Fabrister Lane in Lexington. Angry Fish. We drink all we can and sell the rest.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prominent poster at Penny's on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
N617. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
Lowe's knows the best deals for dad. That's why this Father's Day, you can shop our best gifts from the brands he loves, like Craftsman, for less. Right now, get a V20 drill or impact driver kit for just $69.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, good morning to you. It's time for a First Alert Traffic Update. As we keep on into this one, damp road conditions could easily be posing a problem, so I just want to make sure you are taking it easy. But as of right now, I've not seen anything popping up on our map indicating big backups or confirmed collisions. So continuing on, it is going to be a relatively better second half of the day, but make sure you keep listening and checking back for more First Alert Traffic Updates. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli. Make it a great day.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
803-404-6100. That's how you can be a part of the program this morning if you want to choose to do so. Finally got the text line running up and running, and anonymous texter quickly points out Jamal Murray is actually Canadian. Yeah, thank you.
I knew that, but I was going to let it ride. That's just a test to let anybody know if they're listening out there. Appreciate you.
Yeah, just to see the
Air
lines
check.
I did get
Air check.
a 607 text message from a listener that said you're loud and clear. You good? All right, just move about the program.
There we go.
Really quickly, Nikola Jokic, a quote from when he got drafted. Every teacher in elementary school loved me because I was always goofing around. I was taller than most guys and fattest. I didn't like physical activities in high school. I could never do one push-up.
Sounds like Langston Moore growing up. Like, it's phenomenal.
2-time MVP.
Also, too, when you're growing up and you learn in elementary school that there's a drawer of snacks in there, and if you behave, and there's also a drawer of like detention stuff. So, you know, teachers always have snacks. Trust me. That's why I married a teacher. I hang around Preston. He's got a bag of snacks in his car. So that's also the thing. Forget about being a teacher's pet. You just want to be in that teacher snack drawer.
It's true. So you showed up on the wrong day because Jen brought Japanese Kit Kats.
Japanese Kit Kats.
Japanese Kit Kats.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were all kinds of them.
Assortment.
What kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Melon flavored.
Melon.
There was a banana caramel.
Pass.
Banana caramel wasn't.
That was the worst one.
Really?
Yeah, that was.
Have we already had a taste testing? Have we already put them out there?
We've already
Yeah,
done
you
this.
gotta kind of stay alert to this program.
Okay.
There's strawberry cheesecake.
That was
okay.
Solid.
That one I think has made its way to
I
America.
said the melon. Well,
We didn't do the melon. Heath Klein was taking the melon home with him.
oh, so we need an assessment from him.
for his wife yesterday. We got him involved.
What a surprise! That's an upset.
He wasn't taking it for him. He wasn't
Okay.
taking it for him. He was taking it for Mandy. You did miss a fantastic dog conversation yesterday where he and I guess Mandy had gone shopping for a dog bed.
A Serta
dog bed.
Yeah. Wow.
I could imagine he had some things to say about that.
I think he loves that dog.
He loves that. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was very protective. My question was, if you go shopping for a dog bed without the dog, who's testing the bed?
He kind of side skirted that, so I don't know if maybe he tested
because
it.
I mean, at that point, aren't you just like, oh, that one's blue, grab that one? Like, who's doing the thing where they circle around the bed a few times?
I think it was Heath.
Heath had to go around and nudge it a little bit. And it's always interesting because I always hear a marketing guy say, man, when you think about dog food and cat food, they don't, it's not marketed for the dogs. The dogs can't read. It's for you, the human. So is Heath in the dog bed industry? Are they marketing?
Serta dog bed that he.
And what do they got? The sheep is like their little mascot. So I think that works.
The sheep.
I get it confused. Who knows?
Yeah,
let's not confuse it with Tempur-Pedic or something like that.
Well, we were laughing a couple weeks ago because the farmer's table and the food for Sosa, Juice Wells' dog.
Shout out to Sosa.
Sosa needs to get out here and run some laps on the soccer pitch. And, with that food.
Sosa's had a few Kit Kats, I think.
We washed our dog's bed last week and she was not happy. She did not enjoy the new smell that didn't smell like her. So she hasn't slept on it in about a day or two.
Oh, you washed the bed?
Mm-hmm. The covering, and she did not appreciate it.
She
does not appreciate
it.
it.
The last time I've been here, is there only one bed for your dog?
Oh, no, she has multiple. She has beds in rooms where she sleeps.
So again, like my household, the dog has 2 downstairs beds, and then he has 2 upstairs beds, and then of course everybody else's bed is his bed as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always amazing that I spend all this money on my mattress, and now my dog feels inclined to make it his mattress now. So again, I had to play in the NFL to get this Tempur-Pedic mattress, and my dog just is like, this is great for me too. So
funny how that works.
All your hard work paying off for the rest of the family. Like,
but we love young Brownie, man. Come on up here. And
wait, tell him Brownie's full name.
Brownie's name is Brownie Cookie Hill. That's his name. So if you didn't know what the theme is in our house, it's Brownie's Cookies. Maybe we should have said ice cream Hill in there, but we don't.
Outstanding. I need to go live with Langston for a while.
Does your dogs have full on names?
No.
Okay.
No. Just single names.
There's
Nothing exciting.
There's not a little pet doggy birth certificate that they didn't make for you.
Oh, we did. Okay, we did have that with Piper. The other 2 were rescues, so they didn't do the full thing. But the AKC ones,
do the rescues feel like left out? I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm not in any family. Like my buddy says, I'm not in any early family pictures. I think I'm adopted.
Well, we at least gave them our birthday, like a relevant birthday, if we didn't know what the birthday was. So it's like, okay, well, our anniversary can be Milo's birthday.
There you go.
And, so we tried to at least.
What's Riley's birthday? Preston, do you have the dog's birthday? Or
April something.
Okay.
April something.
Okay.
More importantly, when's your wife's birthday?
Let's not get Preston beat
March
up this
something.
early.
There we go. Here we go. Keep it
That'll be
moving.
That'll be the end of Preston's
Back to
segment.
statistics. 38,
There
20,
you
and 10. Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, baseball. There's baseball in Gainesville this weekend. We'll get to that. We'll get to that coming up here. Tony Annan also just walked in as well, so we've got a lot going on this morning. You two's memories of this side, because it is, number one, we don't do this enough. We talk about it. It's because I don't know how old now the Doty and what they've done. I guess it's maxing up on over 10 to 12 years. But just the way y'all have seen campus develop here over the last 15 years with stuff like this compared to the dungeon that you guys played in. I say that joke, but you guys use this facility back behind us here. At one time it was the bubble. I don't know what it is now today.
Yeah, we use the bubble. We had our little academic center over here, which was very, very tiny, petite, cozy.
Yeah.
Maybe if you were selling real estate, it might be a cozy place with a lot of charm. But these guys, I mean, this is state of the art things. And I can imagine if I was a parent bringing my child here to see the places and that's where they're going to be spending the majority of the time. They're going to be going from the facility, say the soccer facility, which is right across the street, to the academic center, where they have all the places lined up there for them to meet with their counselors and work with all the people. It's a really awesome facility, and it's kind of it makes you proud as you're looking at it because it's beautiful.
100%. Like I said earlier, I go around to all these different campuses, all these different that is the en vogue chic thing on any campus, college campus. They're always building, making something new, and specifically here at Carolina, we got a really beautiful aesthetic, just how everything lines up. Even when we were talking about the soccer field here, it being on campus, that's a phenomenal deal to have. And again, even like South Florida and different things like that, when it looks like a big high school stadium, like it's all metal, but for us to have our brick and our aesthetic, if I had one big complaint about all the improvements, parking is terrible now. I used to be able to park wherever I wanted to. Now Ray Tanner takes my old parking spot over there that I used to have at the academic center. I guess the AD needs some place to be, but that's probably the worst thing, parking.
You're traveling a lot with your daughter. What is maybe one of the nicer facilities you've seen, or things that just, what is it as a parent? Let me do this in the next segment when we come back. We hit a break here and do that. I just want to hear your take on that, see if I can drag y'all here just a little bit longer, because it is nice. And, you go back over across the way for basketball, 650, and that is right across from basketball, which has become a lot easier. The Doty is right here. They've got the cafeteria downstairs. We'll get some of Preston's takes on that, and Langston's as well. 803-404-6100. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
Hey there, it's Big Voice Guy again. We told you recently that our main transmitter was damaged during a storm, and we are on our backup transmitter. And that could be affecting how you might pick up 107.5 The Game. Well, we figured it was time to give you an update. Our update is, there is no update. We're still waiting for the transmitter company to give us what we need so we can get our main transmitter up and running, so you can get back to listening to 107.5 The Game the way you used to listen. In the meantime, please download the 107.5 The Game app if you're having any issues. We appreciate your patience and understanding. Thanks for listening to 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by TrainInfo.com. Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Sponsored by Colonel Seasons. Available at Publix.
Colonel Seasons adds interesting to popcorn and golf.
Morton approaches with a bowl of popcorn. He's going for the jalapeno cheddar? I've only seen white cheddar on a course like this. Nifty rascal.
Colonel Seasons.
When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day. Shop weekly sales and get personalized coupons to get the most value out of every trip, every time, whether you shop in-store or online. Download the Kroger app now to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
You can save $10 when you spend $75. Just clip your digital coupon and enjoy store-wide savings on all your favorites. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
I'm James, Senior Apparel Designer, and this is Behind the Design with Blue Ranchwear. This is your true, unfiltered Western brand. There's a beauty in the simplicity of the product to be able to move, but still have that classic Western sensibility. Rigid out of the box, you put on your back and it just wears with you. year after year of wearing the product, so it just becomes yours. Blue Ranch wear, only at Boot Barn.
OMG! New Jeeps, $10,000 off! Gotta go to Galliana! It's Jeep season at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. New Jeep Grand Cherokees, up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators, up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month. Plus, we'll take any trade in any condition, and we'll get you out of your current lease or loan, even if you have months left or still owe thousands. You'll be shocked by how much Galliana will give you for your trade toward the purchase of a new Chrysler or Jeep. New Jeep Grand Cherokees, up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators, up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com. Gotta go to Galliana. Max savings on Gladiator stock number 34014. Grand Cherokee stock number 37054. 36 month lease, $49.99 due at signing. Plus tax and tag and closing fee. No security deposit. Negative trade equity financing and new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Sponsored by Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives since 1922. Member FDIC.
If you think all banks are the same, come experience the difference at Security Federal Bank. Security Federal Bank has unmatched customer service and a hometown feel because we're a hometown bank. Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives. Member FDIC.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, good morning to you. It's time for a First Alert Traffic Update. As we keep on into this one, damp road conditions could easily be posing a problem, so I just want to make sure you are taking it easy. But as of right now, have not seen anything popping up on our map indicating big backups or confirmed collisions. So continuing on, it is going to be a relatively better second half of the day, but make sure you keep listening and checking back for more First Alert Traffic Updates. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli. Make it a great day.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
1075 The Game.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. I'll get to some of these text messages that are being sent in. I do like this one. This is from your boy John in Somerville. It says, I love it when I take time to wash my dog, and then as soon as she can get outside, she rolls around in the dirt and gets the smell off of her.
100% every time. It's like, Riley, don't you go rolling around out there. Just wash you.
So, yeah, we can all kind of relate to that. One thing we can't relate to, though, is having a child who is a recruitable athlete, and Preston is Langston is a father, and you remove yourself from being a college athlete, and you're just father, and you're trying to make the right decision. What is it when you go on visits that impresses you the most? And then I'm going to follow that up with, how does that relate back to 17-year-old Preston going on visits, and what impressed him the most?
Because again, we've been to Auburn, we've been to this place in the upstate a couple times. She has kind of like that, so we won't talk about that on this program. But recently, we just dropped her off at SMU for a cheerleading camp, and that's another sport she's getting a whole bunch of attention in. But you're thinking about like our campus, the SEC, but one, there's a reason why SMU was really close to like bubbling. They got a huge campus, the continuity, the facilities. And that's the thing about across the board about whatever school you go to, everybody is in the arms race for the facilities. I think UCF, they have an a bar, all these different things. Everybody has the little tchotchkes, little things, the barbershop like we have here, at the end of the day, and just like I've learned with Preston and other folks, it's about, you can have whatever it is in the building, outside the building, but it's about the people inside the building that really makes the difference. So, because again, you've seen folks that, have all the bells and whistles, and, you'll lose every game kind of like we did. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that dirty C word you get thrown around a lot, because you can come in here and put a whole bunch of stuff up and get all the gimmicks, but it's about how you feel and do you want to protect these things. And I think we were talking about Oklahoma and just what Patty Gaskell has built her whole program up from a community rec league park to building up to the point now where everybody's like, yo, we're not having a tournament out here in Oklahoma no more. Even though she kind of built it up on her own team and their whole presence, they don't want to have it out there anymore because they feel like it's an unfair advantage. No different than like Alabama, us hosting the SEC championship at Alabama would be like, oh man, it's home cooking all the time. And that was a thing at one point, and then we moved it to Atlanta. But that's probably been one of the biggest things. Everybody has great facilities. Everybody's got a great food meal plan. Everybody, all of those great things. But for me, it's about proximity to traveling. Again, that's one of the big advantages we have in the SEC. We can get to anywhere in pretty much an hour, unless you're going to Texas A&M or something like that. But for a lot of these, Missouri. Again, I forget about Missouri.
October 23rd, the Mayor's Cup coming for you, Eli Dorkowitz.
Preston's favorite
Preston
guy.
doesn't forget.
Preston's favorite guy. Oh my goodness, Tony. Oh my goodness, out here playing Santa Claus. There we go. But no,
I want one of those.
I think that's one of the biggest things, is making sure it's the people in there, because again, there's so much turnover. But it's been exciting. It's definitely, from a Gamecocks perspective, really proud of what we got here. Thanks, Tony. Out here giving out all the swag and everything like that. Trust me, if they see me with this soccer shirt on, they will never confuse me for an old alumni. Did you play soccer one time? I get that all the time with football, but they won't confuse me with this. But now back to the facilities thing. It's a phenomenal deal, and we really got a whole bunch of great stuff here to be proud of. But more building coming along the way as they're building the South Campus and getting rid of Base West, my old stomping ground here growing up.
Coach Annan will have to kind of show you around a little bit, but he's talked to me and we've talked about it. Now, you know what this is here. Come right over here. We'll put you on that one there for just a second. Right here. See, he doesn't even have it labeled correctly there. We only got about a minute left. We're going to get you on later, but this is the boot room.
That is the room.
No, you know what the boot room is, though?
is shoes, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. And Gatorade.
Yeah, shoes and Gatorade together. Stinky shoes and Gatorade.
We'll see if they can hang around one more segment. Let him kind of explain some of the things. Let Coach Annan, who's joining us, explain some of the things that are going on here, because obviously a big day. And then the four of us discuss. I told them some days it just works perfectly. I don't know if you'll agree with this. Maybe the biggest soccer story ever for the United States. And here we are with you today.
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough for making it work properly. We'll come back. Hour 2 on the way. I know Preston Langston got to get out of here, but we'll keep him maybe one more segment. You're listening to the early game. 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Gamecock catcher Cole Messina. You're listening to the home of the Gamecocks at 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
Trust, we want trust. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet or visit us online at herndonchevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-384-3434. That's 800-384-3434. 800-384-3434.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of the cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, this is Jen Jensen for CHW Cabinetry. My family is using CHW Cabinetry, and they are fantastic to work with. They make sure you're satisfied with every step of the process. Not only do their photorealistic renderings show exactly what your new space will look like, their job site guarantees everyone is on the same page, literally. Experience the CHW difference for yourself. Go to chwcabinetry.com to see more, or call them at 803-520-6837, and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
It's the Love Chevrolet countdown to Gamecock football.
86 days till kickoff.
No games, no add-ons, no surprises. No wonder so many people buy with confidence at Love Chevy, home of the $1,000 low price guarantee.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the power of Love Chevrolet, celebrating the Chevy Silverado. For the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Come by and feel the power of love. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
With Bill Gunter.
Eli the Golden Eagle hatched out of his papier-mâché egg on November 17th, 1993, before the start of an exhibition basketball game. Exhibition.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
Game.
Exhibition.
Oh.
I got it the first time.
I appreciate Preston so much.
Wow. On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
Hour 2, live from Stone Stadium. Oh, we got the whole family out here. Jen, myself, Preston.
It's the whole early game universe.
Yeah. We're just missing an Angry Heath in the morning.
That's it.
It's really all we're missing in the morning. But Tony Annan here, Langston Moore joining us. Thank you, Coach, for having us here. And as I was saying, I don't know how you pulled it off, that conceivably the biggest soccer story in America occurs yesterday afternoon, and here we are hanging out with you to even discuss it a little bit, as Lionel Messi will now come to the United States and play for Inter Miami. And as I was reading a lot yesterday, the ability to grow the sport leading up to the 2026 World Cup is a huge shot in the arm. Now, my question is, I don't know how much time, because obviously you're running camps and trying to do other things as a college coach, how much time you had to read the specifics of the deal that he's getting to come over here.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. It's not just US, it's global, really, because Saudi offered him $1.2 billion over 2 years, $600 million a year to go to Saudi for 2 years and pretty much end his career there. He turned that down, moved back to his, obviously, heart, which is Barcelona. And he's decided to come to Miami, which is, for this league in this country, that is probably one of the biggest things that's happened since David Beckham came. And people say, oh, did Beckham changed the league. Beckham moved the needle for MLS, without a doubt. And a lot of stars came after him. But this one, he is bigger. He is the Jordan. He is the LeBron kind of status of soccer. And I think it can only grow the game, and it's exciting. I hope that he comes in, embraces it, and plays all the games in all the stadiums, because a lot of guys pick and choose where they play. Like I was fearful for Atlanta. Atlanta could sell out 75,000 with him in the building. They could do that anyway, but it's turf, and players of that status don't often play on turf. So it's kind of yesterday I saw Charlotte open their top level as soon as they announced for the Miami game. Every stadium, every team has opened more seating. Even DC United, who get average crowds, have sold thousands more tickets in the day it was announced. So the impact it's going to have on the game, but also on young players who want to see Messi live. I was fortunate to see him in New Camp, so I'm not much in a rush, but I want my little guy to see him live because he's a huge fan. So it's going to impact the game immensely. And I think leading up to the 26 World Cup, it can only help generate more interest in the sport that's already on its way,
We were talking about it, and I'll get your opinion from it, from the soccer aspect of it. When these guys go into schools, and this was part of the article I read yesterday on the impact of this. Do y'all know in football? Do you get a feel? Do you notice who the jersey seems to be?
Who? The guy from the wide receiver from Minnesota. That's one that's up there. That's Jefferson, right?
Jefferson.
Yeah, doing the gritty. That's huge. And this is late, but the last really groundswell I really remember was Odell.
Okay.
That was the last guy who really kind of captured the young people's attention. I'm not sure if there's anybody in the league right now who occupies that same space.
And part of now granted, you're talking worldwide, so a little bit different demographic here, but the Lionel Messi jersey is, I think, one of the top 2 sold worldwide. I think Erling Haaland is making a push now. And again, you're talking worldwide. And I think Cristiano Ronaldo was, I think, still one is what I saw yesterday, number 1. But but there was a demographic that even in America, Messi is catching up to Patrick Mahomes. And I don't know if you see that as you're going around. Now, a lot of these kids had to wash Austin's Tony Annan soccer camp shirt again. Like, I was looking at him yesterday. I was like, well, son, you've worn it 3 straight days. A 4th day. He's like, we'll wash it. I want to wear it. I was like, okay. So last night I was doing laundry. But so you got more of these out here that are wearing the soccer camp shirt. But I don't know, as you go around, if you notice more Messi jerseys that are kind of taking over in America. Because I think he seems to resonate more with the younger crowd than Cristiano Ronaldo did.
Yeah, I think it's between Ronaldo and Messi always when you see a soccer jersey. Like, I've seen probably 10 to 20 jerseys this camp.
Mm-hmm.
The kids are wearing my shirt, which is nice. I like that. But the ones who are not are wearing a Messi or a Ronaldo for sure. That's the jersey. But Messi's got a deal with Adidas, like Beckham did. So he's an Adidas athlete. So Adidas helped fund his salary. Apple have helped fund his salary, which is incredible. So he's getting a percentage of sales for the season pass, because they're hoping the season pass will now kick on with Apple. So he's getting a percentage of that. He's getting a percentage of Adidas jersey sales, which will go through the roof, as you can imagine. And then obviously Miami have chipped in for his salary, but also the league. And I think what's got to be understood is every team in the league is contributing to that salary.
Yeah,
that is what blows my mind.
Yeah,
like every team have helped get Messi here.
That makes sense.
Which is nuts, right? But at the end of the day, they know it's going to be good for ticket sales. They know they're going to sell the stadium out. They know they're going to sell merch. It's a big thing for the league.
At 35, he's past his prime, but as I was reading last night, he's still a very good player and very, very well maybe, and I don't know, I'll get your opinion on that, the best player in the MLS when he comes here. He's not, I mean, he had, I think it was 21 goals this year for PSG, or it was 21 in the World Cup. I can't remember which one was which, but I guess I say this, the one question I had last night is his arrival at his age with still his skill. Do you think it helps draw in more international players if they see success, if they see what he gets? Now it's going to be, I think, again, one of the things I said, Miami's a culturally perfect fit for him. You know, Los Angeles was a good fit for David Beckham. There's going to be some fits here that have to happen, but do you see this being where other international stars look and go, there's something to be had over there?
Yeah, I think that sort of movement's been bubbling away. You know, you put Pirlo, Ibrahimovic, Gerrard, Lampard, mostly, you know, some of the English guys who were on the tail end of their career. But obviously Beckham came, he was on the tail end, but then Beckham went back to Europe and played after MLS. So, yes, I think it certainly shows that it's not too small a league. It's not too below the step that people want to take. And if there's money to be made at the end of your career, I mean, you would prefer some bigger players to come before the end of their career. That'll really establish that it's a genuine league. But to choose here over Saudi was big too, because the Saudis are going for it. They are raiding world soccer to get players over there that are not at the end of their careers.
Well, and I was just thinking about the difference between Messi and Ronaldo, and it's the same Steph Curry effect. When you see Steph Curry, it's like, oh, I could be him. And I think people see Messi and it's like, he's 5'7". He's kind of a guy that I could be. I mean, we all look at Ronaldo and this dude is like a statue.
He's like a Greek god.
Yeah, he's a god. And it's like, man, nobody can do it. Nobody can be. He's one of one. I think the appeal of Messi is that he's sort of like an everyman type of guy, even though he's not, obviously. But I think that's more of the appeal for younger folks for sure.
Physically, for sure. Physically, you can tell a kid, hey, it doesn't matter if he's short.
Right.
I mean, if it was Bill, we could talk to Bill about it. But I always like standing next to him.
I've been studying. I've been like, because we're always sitting. I was like, yeah, you're not that tall either, are you?
But you can say to a kid, look, you don't have to be 6'4". You don't have to be,
Right.
I mean, like Messi is quick and he changes direction like nobody else, but he is 5'6", bordering 5'7".
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, I don't think he's 5'7". But to use him as an example, you can say to a kid, listen, don't worry about how tall you are. Don't worry. Look at Messi.
Right.
Now, obviously, he's never going to be Messi, but
Right.
it gives him that hope that he could.
Right.
And I think if he stays fit and he plays the games, there's going to be a huge movement of Messi fans on this continent as well,
Yeah, I think one of the things too, also you brought up is, it's cool to get that $600 million a year over there in Saudi, but what's the crowd's going to look like? And I think about myself. It was great to play in Detroit, but the only packed game would be Thanksgiving Day, and that's like 8:00 in the morning. And then I had an opportunity to go play in this little makeshift league called the UFL, and there was nobody out there. Yeah, it was cool to get the check and kind of play out my last little days of football there. And I think about it's the same thing with the guys coming here, because we know the American base is ravenous for it. They're obviously going to support it as a league-wide deal. There's a whole bunch of money behind it, but you want to get paid, but also you want to show up and have some fun. And you think you're coming from the mecca that is the European soccer, everything they play. Like it's cool to get the money, but you're like, man, when you can hear people talking like, man, Messi is not really running hard today. It's like, that's a big difference between playing in over there with all the big stadiums, 100,000 folks and all that. So I think that's one of the biggest things. And you hit it right on the head. Everybody's going to benefit. It's like the LeBron effect. All the TV money is going to go up. Yeah. Ticket sales are going to go up. And when you mentioned Kansas City, I mean, that game between Miami, Kansas City, and Patrick Mahomes, like that's just going to be a star-studded deal. But it's not going to be about football. It's going to be about soccer. With all guys buying into these soccer teams now, it's really going to be interesting with all of it.
The other effect that it's going to have is stars from the NBA, stars from the NFL are going to want to be at the games to also see Messi, because they all want to be like friends with Messi, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the big stars will be out at the games, which also generates basketball fans to say, well, LeBron's there, Patrick Mahomes is there.
Yep.
So it's going to be a little bit of a crossover too.
Yeah.
And then the other part of this, which is probably the quieter part, is Tata Martino, who won the MLS Cup in Atlanta. When I was there, we won the MLS Cup, and Tata is scheduled to go in there and be the coach, because Tata had him with Argentina when Tata was Argentina head coach. So this is kind of it's going to be like a fairy tale story sort of thing that they're going to keep generating interest in. They sacked Phil Neville last week. Phil Neville is an English soccer manager who is average, or is proven to be average. The team was bottom of the league when he got sacked, right? So
you love the shot that he's average. He sacked him, right?
Hey, listen, one of my best friends is the assistant coach, so he's hanging on by a thread.
Of course.
If I think that was the indicator that something was going to happen, because Messi would not have come here to play for Phil Neville. I just don't see that happening. Even though they announced it yesterday, I think maybe last week was the indicator that something was moving, because they sacked him. And David Beckham's best friend is Phil Neville. So he had to sack his best friend to get the big guy in to then bring, hopefully, I think Tata's going to come and do that. So it's going to be an interesting week. Yeah.
And again, you don't want to go to a place where like, oh man, I got, Dick Buckus as my coach out there. Like you said, he's not coming here at 35 years old to be, coached hard like that. He wants to build up. He has a whole bunch of different things that he's doing besides trying to play high level soccer. And again, not to make this about me, but I thought about the same thing when I went to the UFL. I was like, I don't think I'm going out to Sacramento. Denny Green is crazy, but I'm going to go down to Florida because my guy Chuck Bresnahan is the coach down there. He's just going to let me do my thing. And at that time, 31 years old, I was like, and I have to think it has to be the same thing because, yeah, the money is cool, but if there's not people in the stands or my boss is on my tail all the time, I'm messy, man. I'm good. I got this. I can handle this part.
Well, is it a LeBron? I don't know how it's viewed coming to America to try and almost, I don't want to say resuscitate, but build the league. And that's something that Beckham did, and Beckham will forever be remembered. This is a chance for Messi really to, because I think sometimes we get confused, and this happens more in football, I think, where you see guys who have 4 or 5 really good years, and then they're out of the league and they're 30.
Yep.
And 30 is young.
Yes.
Like 30 is young. And Messi's 35. And even if he plays 5 more years, he's 40. He's young. That's, you hope, half of your life. And I don't know if it's viewed over there in that to say, okay, I can come over and maybe I can get involved. Kind of like what we've seen LeBron do from a basketball standpoint of like build a production company and he's doing podcasts and stuff. And I don't know if that's something that's of interest to Messi to come over and be kind of mainstream in America.
Well, he's been offered a deal at the end when he does finish playing. He's been offered a franchise deal.
Yeah.
So that's another one, right? San Diego just announced, and the guy who bought San Diego spent $500 million on the franchise, where Atlanta in 2017 paid $180 million. Charlotte paid $325 million 2 years after that, and
going up
in a space of not even 10 years, this guy's just paid $500 million. So Messi will get a discounted franchise like Beckham did with Miami.
And Beckham bought that. Did I see that for $25 million?
It was low.
It was
really low.
Okay.
But that's kind of what the incentive for him is now. He could take a market. There's not many big markets left though, right? There's 2 in LA. There's 2 in New York. I think Detroit is scheduled for one, but San Diego just went, which was another big market. So there's not a huge amount of markets left. So it'll be interesting where his franchise, if he chooses to do it, where it is.
803-404-6100. I know Preston and Langston got to get out of here. Hopefully he can show you around real quick. And because we were talking about the facilities, and I was asking Coach this week just how well this stacks up against other facilities, especially in his conference. And he was very complimentary. We were talking about the bowling family scoreboard, Norman Bowling being a great contributor to both the men's and the women's soccer program here with a fantastic scoreboard. Right here, just on to our left. This is technically, I guess, when I've been your home side, correct? So right across from your bench, but your facilities are top notch here, and hopefully Preston and Langston have a chance to catch those. We'll come back tomorrow.
Be back tomorrow.
It was good seeing you, Langston.
You too, man.
In a while.
You too.
Came wandering in. I was battling the trains and all kinds of just
rain. It was a lot.
It was a wild.
But Bill, you're a consummate pro. You got it done. A pro's a pro.
I tell you what, between Darlington and here, I got to be careful. They're going to give me some kind of title of extra.
Oh, Bill knows what he's doing. We can give him that responsibility. Be careful.
I've held it. I've been very calm the 2 times because those trains this morning, Jen was following me around campus everywhere. We couldn't figure out how to get here. I thought the trains had just circled the soccer facility.
Coach, how many times have you heard the train excuse from a player?
Oh, it's an excuse that I don't accept.
There you go.
It's no,
you know the trades. You know what time they
I
run
don't
every
accept
day.
that one.
And this is one of the things you got to tell them on a recruiting trip. All right, there's a lot of things we're going to have fun when you come here, but this train thing, we're not going to have that.
There's a funny one for you. We played FAU my first season, and the FAU coach got stuck. The bus got stuck behind the train here. That guy had been the assistant here for 6 years. I was like, the train.
You know what time it is.
You know what's happening. You don't blame the train. So, yeah.
I like this real quick. Yesterday, you had one of the coaches that's out here helping. I think it was actually Monday, and where the practice facility is right down here. The train track runs right behind it. And I believe it was Asher asked you, how do you coach when the train goes by? And
I don't. I just wait. I don't know why. I think they do it on purpose. I think they hoot that horn as loud as they can for as long as
right
they
when
can.
you're really getting all the playing.
Basically, I just stop and wait. So, yeah.
803-404-6100. We'll be back with more early game. 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 107.5 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
This
Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. American soccer is going to get messy this summer. Lionel Messi, who captained Argentina to the World Cup, is joining Inter Miami of the MLS. Messi spurned an unbelievable Saudi offer worth $1.6 billion over 3 years. MLS's biggest marquee. And Apple will contribute to Leo's compensation package. A Boomer Science.
Is your check engine light on? Let our professional parts people scan and diagnose the problem for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Pro Paint Days are here at Lowe's. Now through June 16th, Lowe's MVPs members can start earning 20% back in paint rewards via Lowe's e-gift card when you spend $100 or more on qualifying paint purchases. Stock up on top paint brands like our new and exclusive HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Spec-Rite Pro Interior Paint. Lowe's knows pros. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
Sponsored by Colonel Seasons, available at Walmart.
Colonel Seasons adds interesting to popcorn and golf.
Morton approaches with a bowl of popcorn. He's going for the jalapeno cheddar? I've only seen white cheddar in a course like this. Nifty rascal.
Colonel Seasons.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are. Madison Gant just walked in. How you doing?
Doing great, Woody. How are you?
Good. Madison, I see your trucks everywhere for Pioneer Tree Service. Tell us some of the people you work with.
We've been very busy with residential and commercial customers.
So, Madison, you're doing the State House, Midlands Tech, City of Columbia, University of South Carolina. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust. And that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service. And now there's a new little Gant girl, Dawson. We got all the Gant girls in the room.
We do tree removal, stump removal, tree pruning, tree trimming, tree thinning, tree cabling, and we will raise your tree canopy.
And no matter where you live, the Gant girls can get there. So, hey, Gant girls, how do they get in touch with you?
Call us today for a free estimate at 803-794-8253 or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
If you have tax problems, it can affect all aspects of your life. Now's the time to do something about it. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. Everyone at our firm truly believes we can improve the lives of our clients by eliminating the stress and worry of IRS tax problems. We're a local South Carolina law firm dedicated to resolving your tax problems for good. Simply put, we solve tax problems. So if you're facing IRS tax liens, bank or wage levies, or have years of unfiled tax returns, come meet with us in person. Your first visit is free and confidential. We'll show you how we will solve your problem and how much it'll cost. So don't put it off any longer. Call us now at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to our website at irsproblemsolving.com. It is time to do something about that tax problem. Your solution is right here in South Carolina. So hire a South Carolina attorney. Hire me, John Ecton.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, law enforcement officers, teachers, and more statewide. There are sign-on bonuses for officers, food services, nurses, and law enforcement officers. South Carolina Department of Corrections has great employee benefits, like 6 weeks of PTO accrued yearly and police officer retirement. Start a rewarding new career today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
Managing your online presence takes time, effort, and expertise. It can overwhelm even the savviest business owner. So, meet Cumulus Boost. We're experts at boosting the online presence for businesses of every type. We make sure potential customers can easily find you and really like what they find. Your website, online listings, consumer reviews, and more. Cumulus Boost. Online at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
The boys of summer are playing on the Believe podcasts.
The product of baseball is much more watchable.
Get your baseball fix from podcasts like Wake and Rake, Farm to Show, and Ring the Bell.
He's not really hitting balls through the screws.
Plus local podcasts like Believe in Astros and Believe in the Bronx.
You're going to have to get some more innings out of the rotation.
Just search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.
Sponsored by TrainInfo.com. Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good morning to you. It's time for a First Alert Traffic update. As we keep on into this one, damp road conditions could easily be posing a problem, so I just want to make sure you are taking it easy. But as of right now, I've not seen anything popping up on our map indicating big backups or confirmed collisions. So continuing on, it is going to be a relatively better second half of the day, but make sure you keep listening and checking back for more First Alert Traffic updates. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli. Make it a great day.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
1075 The Game.
803-404-6100, how you can join us. I want to remind you about my good friends at Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. Summer vacation is upon us. You might be thinking about that great summer trip that you've got coming up, and it needs to start by purchasing a new vehicle from Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. Of course, they've got the $1,000 low price guarantee, which means you can shop other dealerships, take that back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they'll top it. Otherwise, they'll write you a check for $1,000. They've, of course, got the greatest selection of vehicles anywhere in the Midlands, 14 acres to be exact. But I'll tell you what makes Love Chevrolet stand out is the customer service. That's right, the sales staff, so friendly, so knowledgeable. You want to know exactly what you are purchasing, how it can help your day-to-day life, and that's what makes Love Chevrolet stand out, is the incredible customer service. That's why they've been in business for over 60 years. Go find out for yourself. Visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads. 803-404-6100 is how you can join us this morning as we are out here live from the Tony Annan soccer camp. We're in about 45 minutes, about 8:15, I reckon. We'll start seeing some campers show up about an hour from now. They'll be in full force out here, and at 9 o'clock they get going. The next camp for you coming up, you can go to tasccamps.com. Still some spots available if people want to come out here and get registered.
Yeah, there's still space available in the next one, which this one's sold out. So the next one's got a few little spaces left. So we'd be welcoming them in.
So if you want to come and be a part of it, a great camp, a lot of great coaches out here, and you get to check out all the great facilities that Coach Annan has. So make sure you check that out. tasccamps.com is where you can go and learn more about that. We got a special guest with us.
Good morning. My name is Robert Lilamos.
There you go. Good. Coach Annan informed you that trying to pronounce names is not my strong suit. I figured it took me 4 weeks to get Annan correctly.
It's also a hard one to get.
How has it been for you here? You transferred in from Gardner-Webb, and for you, by the way, let's give a little background on you real quick. You're from Denmark. I'm not even going to try and pronounce
Bonza.
Bonza
city.
Okay, so you came from Bonza, Denmark. You came up here. You started your career at Gardner-Webb, and you're now here at the University of South Carolina. And kind of talk about your experiences coming here and being able to enjoy this and what it's been like. And then I'm going to ask you the really tough question with him sitting right across from you. What is it like playing for Coach Annan? Because we hear him on the radio.
Yeah. Now I'll go back to when I got here. It was still in the building phase as a team, and we had a lot of new guys coming in with me. So it's a group that really need to be built together. But I think just over the last year, we've made huge progress already, and we're looking to build on that and keep building on that into this season coming up. But I think we're looking really great, and I think the program is really in a good direction right now.
Talk about your journey through soccer, because I've talked to Coach Annan, and it's fascinating. My background and how I got into this was through recruiting, particular football and basketball. And so with that in mind, it was one of those things where I understood football coaches going to the state of Georgia, going to North Carolina to recruit. And Coach Annan, I've laughed at times because he doesn't really go to Georgia or North Carolina. He goes to France. He goes to Denmark. He goes to Iceland. He goes all over. Talk about your journey and kind of how it started early on, and then how recruiting went for you, and how you ended up at Gardner Webb.
Yeah, so I was playing academy back home in Denmark for Odense Ball Club, which is a first division team in Denmark, and I was playing on their academy team, and it was going great. I thought I was having lots of fun, but then throughout my last year there, I broke my leg and I got injured. So kind of the pro dream at the team there was kind of ruined, and I started looking for new ways to kind of rediscover the joy of playing soccer. And that's when I heard about the opportunity to come to the US to play college. And yeah, I just went ahead and took the chance, signed up for an agency, and off I went.
So it's an agency. That's how it works. You put your name in. I guess there's some video that gets sent out. And at that time in your life, Gardner Webb reached out to you. What did you know about the United States? What did you know about United States soccer prior to coming?
Very little. I would like to say very little. It was very limited about the kind of research I did before, because I was kind of out late, and therefore I didn't have a lot of time to talk to different schools. And Gardner Webb was the first one who really came with a serious offer, and I just thought to myself, I have to do this. So I went, applied for visa, and 2 days before my flight took off, then my visa arrived in the mailbox. So it was quite lucky that I even got to go.
What, again, a lot of people listening this morning, a lot more relate to the football and the basketball, even the baseball recruiting, where leaving home might mean leaving Charleston or leaving North Carolina and coming to South Carolina. You had to come to a whole new country by yourself. Your family, I guess, back in Denmark. What was that experience like, truly going out on your own?
I think it was, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it was easy, because it definitely wasn't. But I think it's just about having an open mindset and embracing the new families that you're going to create in the United States, and basically wherever you go, because there's always going to be good friends. There's always going to be family around you. It's just about picking the right ones and then accepting them.
Let me ask Coach Annan, when you recruit, when you have to go overseas, do you have to look for a special mindset that can leave a home country and come whatever it may be, 6, 8, 10 hours away, where it's not just a car ride home when they're homesick or if something's happened? Do you have to kind of investigate to see if it's a special mindset?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to find out that much information about a player, unless you go obviously over there and meet them and have dinner with them and sort of try and get to know their character. But it is. I mean, I did the same as Luis. I came the same way, and on a whim, I went to Kentucky, which a town of 2,000 people from a big city like Newcastle. So it's a huge culture shock when they come over here, and it's unless you embrace it and just embrace the way of life, you struggle with it. But I think it's not just international, even Americans, domestic players, we have to make sure the character's right, number one, and that they fit what we're going to try and do in the way that I run the program. Because some people don't fit in that. You know, you can't put a square peg in a round hole sometimes. So it's important to get the character right. It's important to understand how mature they are. And usually, you know, no slight on domestic players, but the European guys or the South American guys have a little bit more maturity because they've been out of school a little bit longer. Some of them have been away from home more. So they're a little bit more mature when they come in. Not always, but most of the time. Than the domestic player who's coming straight out of high school and straight from mom's house, right? So some of them, it's case by case, but you try and do as much homework as you can to make sure they will be successful, they won't struggle, and if they are struggling, you've got to give them the support, because it's not easy to travel 4,000 miles away from home to start a new career in a new country. especially when you're 19, 20 years old.
803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll ask you the big question.
All right.
He got mad at me when I asked him last week, so I ask you the big question, and we'll talk Messi as well. Laritz Lillamoose?
Yeah.
Was that close enough, or was that right?
It's well enough.
He's sitting with us, Coach Tony Annan. We are live from Stone Stadium. It's going to be a beautiful day out here. It is the 4th day of the Tony Annan soccer camp. 205 campers have been out here this week, learning a lot of fundamentals, a lot of skills. It's been a lot of fun, and we get to join them here on a Thursday morning. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Laritz Lillamoose, Coach Tony Annan, Jen Jensen's out here. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Summertime is here. That means maybe some summer parties. That means maybe a big watch party for baseball this weekend. You got a big soccer match coming up this weekend as well. A lot of reasons to have people over the house, but if the carpet, the rugs, the tile, the upholstery, they're dirty, if your air ducts are dirty, it's time to call Zero Res. Right now, if you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, you can get 15% off all cleaning services. Give them a phone call today, 803-262-4020, or schedule with ease online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Don't wait any longer. Get that house clean for that big summer party. Use Zero Res with their patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep the carpet, the rugs, the tile, the upholstery all clean and keep it cleaner longer. Again, reminder, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 15% off all cleaning services. You can also go to ZeroResColumbia.com and use the promo code SUMMER sale. Don't wait any longer. Contact Zero Res today, 803-262-4020, or schedule online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews.
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
And we are the 3rd generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Are you a commercial electrician looking for new opportunities? DNB Electric of Lexington, South Carolina is known for excellence, and they're hiring. With an exceptional health package, generous PTO, opportunities for overtime, and many other benefits, it's easy to see how DNB Electric has become a leader in the Columbia area. Be a part of their explosive growth. Join the leader. Check them out at dnbelectric.com/careers. That's dnbelectric.com/careers. DNB Electric is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day. Shop weekly sales and get personalized coupons to get the most value out of every trip, every time, whether you shop in-store or online. Download the Kroger app now to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
You can save $10 when you spend $75. Just clip your digital coupon and enjoy store-wide savings on all your favorites. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Enjoy the sounds of summer from Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers. Cannonball! Enjoy the taste of summer too, with amazing hand-tossed pies, cool, crisp salads, and over 100 beers from around the world. Mellow Mushroom, in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
It's the Love Chevrolet countdown to Gamecock football.
86 days till kickoff.
No games, no add-ons, no surprises. No wonder so many people buy with confidence at Love Chevy, home of the $1,000 low price guarantee.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, and good morning to you. It's time for a First Alert traffic update. As we keep on into this one, damp road conditions could easily be posing a problem, so I just want to make sure you are taking it easy. But as of right now, I've not seen anything popping up on our map indicating big backups or confirmed collisions. So continuing on, it is going to be a relatively better second half of the day, but make sure you keep listening and checking back for more First Alert traffic updates. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli. Make it a great day.
What we're talking about on 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Rolling along out here at Stones, beautiful Stone Stadium. It really is. Granted, it's been raining this morning, so it's not, 95 degrees and humid, but it really is a beautiful campus, beautiful setting here with some trees. Obviously, it's more in a more secluded, to me, it's a more secluded part of campus because you don't have the academic buildings over here like you do kind of on the other side. So it's kind of aside from the trains, it's the quieter portion of campus. You like that? You don't train though. How often, Tony, do y'all come and train in the stadium?
We very rarely train the stadium. It's more if we've got game prep the day before the game or the day of the game. If we do something, that's the only time we really train the stadium. We try and protect the stadium field, keep it special, keep it in great shape. It's probably one of the best fields in the country at the college level. So we try and keep it in the best shape we can.
Usually I do a good job, but I messed up during the break of saving stuff for the radio. But last week we asked Coach Annan about Pop-Tarts, and he got very upset because he wanted to talk serious, sports talk radio at 7 a.m. in the morning. So I had to adjust the conversation. But I asked you during the break, what do you know about Pop-Tarts? And what was your response?
I don't really know what it is. And you said Pop-Tart smoothies, or what was that?
Oh, I must have turned my attention. Yes. You have not had a nutritionist from your team nutrition back here, Coach Will. You have not had a Pop-Tart smoothie?
No. I can't say that I have.
You saved those for the staff only.
Yes, because as you said, the staff is the one who would need to burn those off the most. Yeah. Is a pastry? We call it pastry. I don't know.
Yeah, Pop-Tart. It's a thing in the foil that you open. It's like a toasted.
Yeah, like a snack.
Yeah. I think, didn't Tony, the nutritionist, say Pop-Tarts were okay for like a shot of energy? Didn't he say that?
Yeah, I've never been.
Luis looks after himself pretty well, so I don't think Pop-Tarts are in his diet.
No. All right, there you go. Good help. Not like I was at this university about 23 years ago. Does that ring a bell there? Yes. Okay. We get the thumbs up as Jen shows him Pop-Tarts. What's your thoughts on Lionel Messi coming to America? What's your thought? Let's start with this young guy, and it's, I think, again, because I think soccer is growing in this country. Really with closer to your age and working its way down with all these campers out here this week and being exposed to it more, both through TV deals where now we can watch the Premier League. I don't know if 10 years ago, I don't know how you watch the Premier League in America now. I can stream all the matches on Peacock. USA has 2 games on Saturday and Sundays. I mean, it is being much more probably easier to watch for us here. So to go back now, what do you see in American soccer since you have come over and the growth of the game?
Well, I can see that it's growing basically every year. I've only been over here for 4 years now, so it was already popular when I came, but let alone the MLS team in Charlotte has been a huge upgrade, I would say, here in the Carolinas. There's not an MLS team in Charlotte and North Carolina when I was there at Gardner Webb, but now it's been massive stadium, massive program, and franchise that they've started. So it's really exciting to see it grow.
So how do you expect the arrival of Messi here to enter Miami to continue to grow that? And again, as we talked about, kind of in anticipation of the World Cup coming here in 2026, how does Messi coming in continue the growth of soccer?
I think it's huge for America to bring in those names and kind of the effect that David Beckham had on the American soccer. When he arrived, I think it's kind of the same step that they're doing now with Messi arriving. I think it's going to be great to see how he can bring more viewers, but also bring more popularity to the sport of soccer in the U.S. generally.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. Let me ask you, how old are you?
I'm 23 years old.
How old is Erling Haaland? 24, I think.
No, he's 23.
23. When you see a guy like Erling Haaland today and you see him play for Man City, I compare this again because you got to remember a lot of our listeners, this is a learning process for a lot of people. So a lot of people look at an NBA player kind of like Giannis Antetokounmpo, or as we've been talking about Nikola Djokovic, and they see that and they go, man, I can't do that. I can't. Those are skills I don't have. When you watch an Erling Haaland and you see his style of play, what goes through your mind?
I'd say a lot of training, a lot of commitment to being the best at what you do. And for his case, it's about scoring goals and being big, fast, and strong. So I'd say a lot of commitment, a lot of training. That's the first part of my mind.
And I'm going to come back to that in just a second. But before we let you out of here, I got to ask. We see the nice cuddly, or we hear. We do have a live stream. It's not up today. But you're very friendly at times. You are a little gruff with me. But what has it been like? What have you seen Coach Annan's impact on this program here in the year and a half you've been here?
I mean, first of all, you're saying cuddly and warm and all that. I'd say if you want to win something and if you want to improve a team in a competitive environment, you can't be like that always. So I'd say it's very natural that you get real with each other and you try to promote the best skills and characteristics in each individual in a team. And you can't always be nice, warm, and cuddly doing that. So, I mean, we get into it sometimes, but at the end of the day, when you leave the field, we're all friends and we're all a big family here. So I think that's a very important aspect to remember as well.
Laritz Lillebus joining us this morning out of Denmark, a fifth year senior. Am I saying that correctly? I get confused with all the COVID protocol. And to go back, as I had your bio right here, it lists position as M, midfield, correct?
Yes.
Explain that real quick. Explain that for people listening.
I mean, midfield, it's in the middle of the park. I'm not that much of a goal-scoring machine as Erling Haaland, so I stay more in our half and help with the build-out to get it to those creative offensive players. So that's more my job.
And the final thing I'll ask you is we sit here at about 7:46. There's probably a lot of these campers that are now hopping in the car and about to come down. And obviously you won't address all 205 of them today. But if you were to give advice to young soccer players, kids that are getting into the game, you kind of just touched on it there when you talked about Erling Haaland. But what advice, if you could stand out here today and put all of them in the stands, what would you tell them about development?
I think it comes down to having fun. I'd say if you have fun playing soccer, then naturally you're going to want to do it more and more. And if you do something a lot of times, then you're going to become better at it. And if you keep having fun, you're going to repeat that. And hopefully you're going to be the best at what you do someday. And I think that's what they all want to.
I appreciate you stopping by. How do you think you did?
I think it was quite fun experience. My
Good.
first time on here, so
Good. Well, we're always looking for analysts. For people that aren't overly aggressively mean to me, you probably never listen, but Jen is ultra aggressive to me, and Coach Annan feels right at home now, having no problem correcting me or directing what we want to talk about. But I'm glad you stopped by this morning, hung out with us.
It's been a pleasure.
Best of luck to you. Laritz Lillamoose for South Carolina soccer this morning, a fifth-year senior for Coach Annan, midfielder. We'll come back. We will get into a few other things. Coach Annan hanging around with us. 7:48 here on a Thursday morning live from Stone Stadium. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Colonel Seasons, available at Publix.
Colonel Seasons adds interesting to popcorn and golf.
Morton approaches with a bowl of popcorn. He's going for the jalapeno cheddar. I've only seen white cheddar in a course like this. Nifty rascal.
Colonel Seasons.
Life matters. Times are tough all over, and not just on Wall Street, and not just on Main Street. An article in USA Today adds the nation's squirrel population to the list of those hit hard by recent economic woes. It seems there's a remarkably small crop of acorns in America this season. In a few places, the nuts are almost non-existent. Since oak trees can live 3 centuries, 1 year is no big issue for them, but it can be huge for squirrels. I wonder how many people saw the article and chuckled. After all, it seems the little fellows in our backyards are small time considering our jobs and retirement funds. Then I remembered the Bible says that our Heavenly Father watches over even a sparrow's existence with care. So today I'll try to help the less fortunate, and I think I'll set some squirrel food out too to follow God's lead. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty from Christian Life. Remember, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
Attention all craft beer anglers. Angry Fish Brewing Company is having its 5th anniversary celebration this Saturday. Kicking off at noon, come enjoy specialty brews throughout the day like Nothing Easy, Keg of 2021, and many more. The popular brews won't last long, so don't miss out. Sarah's Rockin' Kitchen food truck will be there, and great local bands playing throughout the day and into the evening. Plus, plenty of Angry Fish swag to purchase. Angry Fish Brewing Company, 106 Fabrister Lane in Lexington. Angry Fish. We drink all we can and sell the rest. Don't miss the Champion Defense Sweet Deal. Just log on to 1075thegame.com at 9 a.m. on Friday to get an annual family plan valued at $400 half off for just $200. Includes family household, 2 gate access cards, and 2 guests per visit. Only a limited quantity available.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
AAA Heating and Air is looking for dedicated applicants to fill their fast-growing service department with top-notch HVAC technicians. If you're the best, then they want you. And benefits include top industry salaries, commission on service and unit sales, health, dental, and vision benefits, and a 401k retirement plan. Plus, AAA Heating and Air provides a take-home vehicle and gas card, a cell phone, and a tablet. Check out their job postings on Facebook or ZipRecruiter.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-384-3434. That's 800-384-3434. 800-384-3434.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
By the game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, and good morning to you. It's time for a First Alert Traffic Update. As we keep on into this one, damp road conditions could easily be posing a problem, so I just want to make sure you are taking it easy. But as of right now, I've not seen anything popping up on our map indicating big backups or confirmed collisions. So continuing on, it is going to be a relatively better second half of the day, but make sure you keep listening and checking back for more First Alert Traffic Updates. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli. Make it a great day.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
$7:54 on a Thursday morning, live from Stone Stadium. Nice and peaceful. You ever just come out here and have coffee and
all the time?
Just sit here and relax for a second,
My sanctuary.
I was gonna say. I mean, I've been to Williams-Brice. We've done shows from there in the morning. We've done shows from Founders Park. It's a portion of campus that's nice, and again, when a train's not rolling by, nice and quiet. Jen,
lots of birds chirping, birds like fluttering around.
What's your take of this so far, Jennifer?
I think it's awesome. I mean, it's a beautiful place. I can't imagine. I need to come to more game days, that's for sure, because I would really love to see all the enthusiasm and excitement and some pretty dedicated players showing up early in the morning for Coach.
I feel like I know the answer to what I'm about to ask. Yesterday on the halftime show, 12-3, Terry and Jay debated briefly out of you, Preston, and I, who would be the best soccer player. I was angry that they chose you, but I was angry because I should be that by default. I have at least played soccer. Yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
You discussed it, and Preston admitted that he's only played like street soccer. So I thought just by default of actually playing growing up, that should have been my title.
I'm not your speed person. I might have the agility, I might have some power, but I'm definitely not your speed person. So wherever that would put me on the field.
Hour 3. We might get Jen out there a little bit and let her go to town and see what she can do and just check out the soccer skill. I'm sure we can find a soccer ball or two, correct?
Oh, I'm sure there's one around here somewhere.
Yeah, just a couple. So we'll get into that. Baseball, we'll talk a lot of baseball tomorrow, obviously regionals coming up. You got to head to a wedding, so it's going to be a little difficult for you to follow the baseball regionals and Mark Kingston.
I'll be following. There'll be a lot of Gamecocks at the wedding.
Should be a lot of fun. There is down in Gainesville.
Earpiece in the church,
Yeah. Look at just on the phone. The phone. No longer do you have the earpiece. You're just looking at the phone.
Oh, that's true.
We will be back. Hour 3 is on the way live from Tony Annan soccer camp down here at Stone Stadium. Beautiful morning.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is defensive lineman Alex Hunley, and you're listening to Home of the Gamecocks 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
Next up, straight talk from Doug. Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless.
See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk Talkin'. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at StraightTalk.com. Based on most first place ranking group metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBE.
At Atkins Law, we help injured workers. Workers' compensation can be very stressful. After a serious work accident, a lot of worry follows. Worry about how to get the medical care you need. Worry about how to provide for your family financially. We guide you through that process with knowledge and experience. What sets us apart? We are local and we focus on customer service. If you've been hurt on the job, who you hire matters. I'm Joe Weidman. Call us 803-251-6406.
Wilson Kibler is Southwest's top homegrown commercial real estate firm. Wilson Kibler was founded in 1987 right here in Columbia. They are a full-service commercial real estate firm handling sales, leasing, investments, and property management services. Their team of professionals is dedicated to client success, whether it be buying or selling a property, leasing space, investing, or property management. Talk to Wilson Kibler first. Call Wilson Kibler at 803-779-8600 or find them at wilsonkibler.com.
OMG! New Jeeps, $10,000 off. Gotta go to Galliano. It's Jeep season at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. New Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month. Plus, we'll take any trade in any condition, and we'll get you out of your current lease or loan, even if you have months left or still owe thousands. You'll be shocked by how much Galliana will give you for your trade for the purchase of a new Chrysler or Jeep. New Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com. Gotta go to Galliano. Max savings on Gladiator stock number 34014. Grand Cherokee stock number 37054. 36 months lease, $49.99 to its owner. Plus tax and tagging closing fee. No security deposit. Negative trade equity financing. New loan. Subject to lender approval.
Your search for a new career seems never ending until now. Here's your chance to join the Cumulus Media digital sales team and put that search to an end. You'll be able to showcase your growth with a position where the harder and smarter you work, the more you'll earn. Cumulus Media Columbia is looking for motivated, energetic, and tech-savvy individuals who are looking for an exciting opportunity. Whether you are new to sales or an experienced rep thinking about the future, go to this station's website and click on Cumulus Careers to apply. Cumulus Media Columbia. Boost your career today.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, winner of the annual Mark of Excellence Award for best-in-class customer experience. And home to the Silverado, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
I listened to the radio on the way in here, and I've just listened to him rant and rave about everything. I'm like, get in, we're going to have some serious talk today. And your first question for me is, did they have Pop-Tarts in England? I get up at 5 o'clock to come here. I mean, what are you doing to me?
On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
803-404-6100, how you can weigh in this morning if you want to be a part of the program. We are live from Stone Stadium. Tony Annan out here. He's got to get ready here for soccer camp here in a minute. It'll start in about an hour, so we'll cut him loose. I know you got stuff to go and do, but obviously summertime for you, seeing the kids, and you talked about it, the growth of this camp's got to be pretty exciting for what second year. First year you got here late, and I don't think you were able to have a camp at all. I'm right on that.
I think we did like an ID camp, like an elite player ID camp when we first got here, just to see what we could get in. But we didn't do summer camps till last summer. Yeah.
So to see the growth of it here in year two, truly year two for you with the camp
season. Great. I mean, it's exploded, to be fair. I think we did 100 kids last year. This year we got 200 on this camp, and then we've got another camp in a week, not next week, the week after. The girls' camp's next week. And then we have another camp the week after, the 19th to the 23rd. And I think there's space in that one left, but again, it's approaching another 200 mark. So to see that many soccer players male soccer players. It's really encouraging. Hopefully we can get them to the games as well.
I know last year you're still holding information back. You're waiting for the big reveal for the schedule, but the schedule's done.
Schedule's done. It's on the school now to release it.
Okay.
We're just waiting on marketing and everything else.
And so we will certainly inform everybody of that. What's went for you to do this? What is the most fun of the week? Is it watching some of the younger kids or watching development kids? I know, again, it's only your second year, but I know several of Lexington Soccer Academy's kids are back for a second year. So you've gotten to know them. You've gotten to know my son. You even mentioned it at the beginning of the week. You said, boy, your son's more talkative this year, more confident. But what is the most fun for you to come out here and just be around it?
Obviously this year I'm limited to what I can do because I'm kind of hobbling around on my flat tire, as they say. But we've got an unbelievable staff this year. They've really done a great job. But it's fun to just see any soccer players. It's just in a society where obviously baseball, basketball, and football are huge sports. To see this many soccer players having a good time and enjoying themselves. But I have a special place for the little guys. The 6-year-olds are fun to watch and listen to. By the way, some of the stuff they say, it's crazy, but it's we've got about 36-year-olds in it, and Tam McGowan has those guys, and Tam's like the best coach for that age group. His energy is unbelievable. So yeah, they're the favorite ones to watch, but just to see anybody is class. I love it.
And again, you mentioned the women's camp next week, and you'll have your next camp the 19th through the 23rd. Mm-hmm. People can go to tasccamps.com. There's also an overnight camp here as well. And just real quick, just speak to, because we cut up about it. Preston and I were talking last week about some of your players being out here. Laritz is obvious. I just saw him walk back out again. But the dedicated, how proud it makes you to see guys like Junior and Laritz and some of your players come out here and participate in this camp.
It's great. Obviously, the best thing about it is that the players who come to the games can now relate to Junior, seeing Laritz coaching them, and then they see them playing in the games, and it's kind of that connection piece. But the guys do a great job. I mean, they're unbelievable guys. They work hard. They put on a really good camp for the kids. So I'm proud of them for being that mature to do that. It also introduces them into coaching if they want to get into coaching and stay in the sport after they're finished. It's a good sort of segue into it. But yeah, I wish we had more guys that would stick around and do the camps. But like I said, I think it'll become more and more popular the way these guys have had a good time this week,
Well, you've certainly grown it, and we appreciate you. I know, again, I see them just bringing the flags out. Looks like we've got a nice little lost and found section right here below me with water bottles.
It grows every day.
Well, that could be prizes to give away if they don't take it during the season. Coach, I know you got to get ready here. You got some things you've got to do this morning. Hanging out with us here on the radio is second to making sure everybody has a good time, but I know we'll catch up with you. I think you're actually out of town next week. You got some stuff you got to do. Yeah. So we'll catch up with you in the weeks to come. Obviously, continue to follow this messy story, and know we always enjoy you being a part of the program.
All right. Pleasure as always.
Coach Tony Annan there hosting us out here this morning, and he will be off to get them ready. I see some of the flags coming out and all the good stuff that happens here at camp as we get you ready for a Thursday morning. And obviously tomorrow we will really start getting you ready. Baseball regionals down in Gainesville, and Mark Kingston talking yesterday. I'll get you a little bit of audio from that as we come back talking about the kind of where we're at with Will Sanders and his development. Obviously, we'll also talk a little bit about how or what South Carolina can use from the previous series as they get ready to go down. And I say previous series, I should say previous series against Florida when they swept them. We'll see how Mark Kingston thinks that impacts his ball club as they get ready. 803-404-6100. That's how you can be a part of the program. We'll come back. We'll talk a little baseball, get back into that messy news from yesterday. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
This Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Had Jay Hypocrite Monahan consulted fellow commissioners about messaging, Adam Silver would have had him explain how sensitive today's global environment is. Rob Manfred would have stressed it's about speeding up the game. Gary Bettman would have emphasized you can't get concussions from errant tee shots. And had him insist it's all about the fans. I'm Boomer Esiason. CBS Sports Radio.
Gentle with the nail trimmers. You mustn't nip the quick.
Short-staffed, Marco needs to fetch some help now.
Poodle has to look like a bear, scruffy to fluffy.
He needs a groomer that will be the bark of the town.
Please hold. Has anyone groomed a chinchilla before?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Lowe's knows the best deals for dad. That's why this Father's Day, you can shop our best gifts from the brands he loves for less. Help Dad power his next big project by getting him a Cobalt 24-volt Max drill kit. Now only $89.
Sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big. Now get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Offer ends July 1st. Visit staples.com/printbig for details. This is your sign to try Staples, where your prints are perfect guaranteed.
Have you been debating if you should replace your old HVAC unit? What if you could get up to $5,300 off the cost of a new unit today? Call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-1500 for a free estimate to see what AAA Heating and Air can do for you. Let their comfort advisors inform you of the current Inflation Reduction Act, which can offer a huge tax credit. Call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Don't miss the Champion Defense Sweet Deal. Just log on to 1075thegame.com at 9 a.m. on Friday to get an annual family plan valued at $400 half off for just $200. Includes family household, 2 gate access cards, and 2 guests per visit. Only a limited quantity available.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for the Hood Team from Coldwell Banker. And as I've been telling you, another fantastic opportunity for a dream home purchase is available on Lake Murray. Hood Team is ready to tell you about a 3,600 square foot home on the Lexington side of the lake near Batesburg, Leesville. 176 feet of waterfront, so you can do a lot with that. It's just 20 minutes from Lexington, about 40 minutes from downtown Columbia. It's a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath house, plus it has an in-ground pool complete with a 500 square foot pool house with a full bath and shower. You can have a lot of fun with a place like this. At $1.15 million, it will not be on the market very long. For this and so much more, call Danny Hood, Karen Hood, William DiMaggio, the Hood Team at 803-730-2512. Online, thehoodteam.com. Another dream home on the lake could be yours from the Hood Team.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good morning to you. It's time for a First Alert Traffic Update. As we keep on into this one, damp road conditions could easily be posing a problem, so I just want to make sure you are taking it easy. But as of right now, I've not seen anything popping up on our map indicating big backups or confirmed collisions. So continuing on, it is going to be a relatively better second half of the day, but make sure you keep listening and checking back for more First Alert Traffic Updates. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli. Make it a great day.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Eight 11 on your Thursday morning. It's just Bill Gunner and Jen Jensen now, but we'll have a few more guests stop by over the following 45 minutes. Maybe even some young soccer players.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes.
Do you know anybody? Do you know any?
I happen to know. Well, I know about 18, I think, out here.
Oh, wow.
Only one of them's mine.
Oh, that you know.
I'm only aware.
Only aware of one.
Yeah, only about one. Only one is mine that I'm completely aware of, but 17 others with Lexington Soccer Academy, and we might just have some of them. We'll see how some young soccer players handle radio and the tough questions we ask. I bet they'll know about Pop-Tarts.
I bet they will, and I bet they'd be willing to experiment with a Pop-Tart smoothie.
Yeah, we got to get into that a little bit here before Will Lukowski, the assistant coach, will be joining us. I believe Alec Purdy will be as well, but we'll get to them here. But let's talk a little baseball here for just a second. This morning, yesterday you had Mark Kingston meeting with the media to talk about what's going on with Florida. And one of the first things that you got to ask is, all right, way back when, it feels like years ago that South Carolina swept the Gators here in Columbia. So the question is, what from April fits what they're doing now? Here's Mark Kingston yesterday talking about how April can apply to June.
A whole lot. They're different. We're different. We've both had time to get better as a team and learn more about ourselves as teams. So, again, it's going to be a 3-game series. It's going to be who gets the big hits, who makes the big pitches, and this weekend we'll decide who goes home. So, can't ask for more than that.
All right, so now you got to ask, well, they're different. We're different. Most importantly, what's different about Florida? Because I think trying to figure out South Carolina during that weekend, after that weekend, I should say, rose to as high as number 3 in the national polls and looked poised to maybe even get to number 1 with a good month of May, maybe be the number 1 national seed, be the favorite to get to Omaha and win it all. Okay, well, things kind of fell apart. We know that. We're still learning a little bit, South Carolina, as they bounce back. Here's the important question. What does Mark Kingston think is different about Florida now? Here's what Mark Kingston had to say about how the Gators are different today than they were in April.
Well, again, they have 3 first-rounders in their weekend rotation. They have a potential first pick overall in Langford. Caglione would be a very high first-round pick as a hitter or a pitcher next year. They're just extremely talented. When you're in the state of Florida, like they are, and you're the only SEC team, you're going to get the best players in the state of Florida. And we know Florida is one of the top talent-producing states in the country. So they're always going to be very ultra-talented.
Jen, you hear that, and you talk about things changing, being different. We know Florida's different, South Carolina is different, and that's going to be a big part of this weekend is which team, I think, adjusts to the other the quickest and how that works. And, you followed this team for a while. You sent me something you made there the other day, probably about 10 or 11 years ago.
It wasn't even that long. It's like 7.
Get out a work card that Jen made for everybody. But South Carolina, the biggest thing for them is, I think, believing in themselves this coming weekend.
I think they have some people who are back, and I think that helps. But I think, like you said, that belief, that is very powerful. And, they're not on their own turf now. That makes me a little bit nervous. But I think that at this point, they can smell Omaha. So I have a feeling that that may give them some drive.
So the question becomes, does South Carolina have their swagger back? Because this team, the way they started the season, they did play with a swagger. They played with an energy and a loose kind of attitude that seemed to lend itself to falling behind and coming back, getting up on people and really celebrating. So Mark Kingston yesterday was asked, does his team have its swagger back?
I would like to think so, and maybe we always had it, but you have to be a little more reserved when things aren't going your way. You have to kind of tone it down because nobody wants to look like they're having too much fun when you're not winning. That's just how you handle yourself in baseball. But yeah, I think the guys have had fun, and I've challenged them to have more fun than any team that's still playing for the rest of the season, because the teams that have fun and are loose tend to play better and come through in good moments.
How's Weber with that hamstring?
South Carolina baseball at its best has always played with a swagger. Even though they were a top 5 national program there for the Betters tenure, they not only played with a swagger, but they played with a chip on their shoulder, as if they were the underdog. And getting that swagger back this coming weekend, or exhibiting it. Look, the one thing about going to Gainesville that we've said is You're not going to Fayetteville. You're not going to Baton Rouge. I know Mississippi State was not in the NCAA tournament, but Mississippi State's another incredible baseball environment when they're at their absolute best. You probably remember the scene last year at Mississippi, another team not in it this year, of a home run being hit and cups of beverages flying everywhere. Florida's not a bad environment, mind you. South Carolina's not going into a place where people are going to be sleeping and taking naps, but it's also not the kind of baseball environment that Founders Park is. It's not the kind of baseball environment that Alex Box Stadium in Baton Rouge is. It's not Baum Stadium in Fayetteville. You can jump on this team. You can jump on Florida early. That fan base is going to look at each other and go, well, who's Billy Napier recruiting in football now? Is Graham Mertz going to be the starting quarterback? They'll kind of bail on this team quickly. And so that's a big thing. So I think the question becomes, and I was listening to John Whittle yesterday on with Jay and Terry. John Whittle's opinion was or is that you'll get Will Sanders will get an opportunity on Friday or Saturday to pitch, and in what capacity to be determined. But if he hadn't thrown, and you got to go, if he hadn't thrown much and he can come back on Sunday, he could be the starter. And that's a really good person to have as your starter. So Mark Kingston yesterday talked about, could Will Sanders start? Here's what Mark Kingston had to say about that.
Just a matter of what we think is the best way. If we don't play any extra inning games, there's 27 innings to play. So what's the best way to get our best pitchers throwing the most amount of impactful innings? And that's what we'll about.
Mark.
It would be a storybook. I don't know if it's storybook when you win a super regional, but for the season that Will Sanders has, and let's be honest, I don't think anybody down there is hoping that this thing goes to a game 3. Let's go in, let's win the series in the first 18 innings, and let's advance and go on.
There's women who have had summer manicures done. They don't want to have to chew those up and make a mess. I'm just going to take it from that perspective.
There you go. Good.
But it's really important that they need to think about, women have done mani-pedis. We don't need to be chewing our nails.
No need to be chewing on nails on Sunday. So you want to go through and end this thing Saturday afternoon. But I'll be honest, I don't know how many other teams, and part of this, because look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to anybody that I know. I can't even name the coach for Oral Roberts, who's playing Oregon this weekend. I have no clue. Yes, the manager, the coach. Yes, coach, whomever. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm well aware of all of their 16 super regional teams and what's sitting in their bullpen. But I have to think that there's not many teams, if any, that are sitting with a guy in their rotation like Will Sanders. The season hasn't gone as he wanted. There's no question about that. But that you can run what was or is still or would have been, whatever you want to use, a first-round pick out there on Sunday as your game 3 starter in a pivotal game. Will Sanders has pitched in big games at the University of South Carolina. And by the way, if we forget, Will Sanders was really, really good on Thursday night against Florida back on April 18th. So having him back out there, I think, would be tremendous for South Carolina. Now, the question is, how much does he pitch on Friday and Saturday? Do you need him in some kind of long relief role? Can he come in and give you an inning? If we go to a Sunday game, he's only pitched 2 innings and maybe kept it below 30 pitches. You would think that would fit the mold of being able to run him out there for 5 or 6 or maybe 7, depending on how it works. But certainly a lot of opportunities for him to go out there and maybe turn a season around. Maybe it's not the personal kind of season he wants. Understandable. But I think as a fan, as South Carolina fans, if you have Will Sanders closing it down or sending you to Omaha,
oh yeah,
you high-five him and you thank him for his contributions this year. And that would certainly be or will be something to keep an eye on. Some campers are walking in bright and early.
They all look so adorable.
They are very.
That's not the perspective that you would probably take.
It's probably not the perspective that they would want you to take.
No.
They want to be mean, grizzled soccer players.
Well, they
in.
can be, but right this second, they're adorable.
Yes, adorable little soccer players. So if you wander in this morning, if my son Austin and his buddy Hudson come wandering in and Miss Jen calls you adorable,
be nice.
Just go with it.
It's the mom.
Yes, it's the mom and her standing out. But some soccer players are wandering in. We are live from Stone Stadium. Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, producer Ed Bird. It's been a lot of fun out here as we get ready for the Tony Annan soccer camp, day 4. Do they look tired?
Actually, there's one that's looking. Actually, there's 2 that look kind of like, I had to get out of bed this morning.
A lot of parents bringing the kids down that remember these days. A lot of parents that are very happy this has served as daycare this week also.
Oh, yeah. And it wears out the kids.
Wears out the kids. So a lot of
Mhm.
parents very happy with the Tony Annan soccer camp this week. Reminder, you can sign up for the next one June 19th through the 23rd. Go to tasccamps.com to get more information.
There are age groups, right?
No, they have the 6-year-olds playing with the 14-year-olds.
Well, no, I was making sure. But so like we couldn't get in on the camp.
That is correct.
Okay.
Although we're working feverishly to get you out there to do drills.
I'd probably be about as coordinated as a 6-year-old, so I probably could qualify.
It's giving yourself a lot of praise there. It was very strange for you to quickly not be humble. 803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in. We'll get back into some soccer discussion, a few other things this morning. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Hey, this is Jen. So, I know you've heard me talk a few times, maybe one a few times about the flood that we had on Christmas Eve from pipes bursting in the house. Is that even proper English? But lots of damage in the house, needless to say, throughout the downstairs. Our kitchen, it had to be gutted. And let me tell you, replacing kitchen cabinets, it's a daunting task when you're looking at everything that's ahead. And we weren't really sure where to go, and talked to a friend, and they said, hey, why don't you check out CHW Cabinetry in Lexington? And I'm so glad that we did. It's been absolutely amazing. They helped us find cabinets that we liked, a new little color scheme in there. They helped us work on the layout. And then they have this really cool thing. It's photorealistic renderings. And that showed us exactly what the kitchen would look like. And honestly, if I take a picture of the cabinets or the kitchen today and compare it to the rendering, you probably wouldn't know what was the actual photo and what was the rendering. But it very helpful in getting and that was very helpful as far as trying to get things picked out, like flooring and backsplash and countertops and all of that stuff. So literally a week and a half ago or so, the cabinets were installed, and the installation team, they couldn't have been any better. They were just awesome. They got along well with the dog, so that's a plus for us as well. But we love the new kitchen, and I'm telling you, if you need kitchens, if you need cabinets in your home, visit chwcabinetry.com for more information. Give them a call, 803-520-6837. Be sure to tell them that Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
Get ready to save with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering fast and reliable speeds for $49.99 a month. Free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security. And a free Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Go to spectrum.com/save more and use the Spectrum One savings calculator to see how much you can save today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Yes, we're stranded off the Main Street exit northbound. How fast can you be here?
I just want to check under the hood while we wait.
Hold on just a sec. Honey, it's dark out. I don't think it's a good idea to get out.
I'm sure it'll take them a while.
They're here?
Wow.
We're not that fast, but we're pretty close. When you're in a pickle because you drive a lemon, call Schroeder's Towing. Don't be left on the side of the road distressed. That's Schroeder's Towing with over 1,200 Google reviews. Call now at 772-7930.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest bookers in town.
Gotta go to Galliana. Interest rates are going up all over town, but Galliana Kia has rates going down, down, down. Now you can finance a new Kia at 0% APR at Galliana Kia on Greystone. Or you can buy now and pay later with no payments all summer long. 2023 Kia Rio LX, just $16,990. And any trade goes. We'll get you out of your current loan or lease, even if you're over mileage, have months left, or still owe thousands. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. If you've got a job and you make at least $2,000 per month, our lenders can get you approved for a new Kia with 0% APR financing. Summer sales event at Galliana Kia on Greystone. I-126 Zoo exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Rio stock number 3K1127 plus tax and tax includes $225 closing fee. To qualified buyers, $41.66 per month per $1,000 borrowed for 24 months at 0 APR with 0 down. Dealer rebates up to $400 per month till September. Negative trade equity financed to new loans subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine, expires month end.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online. Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Dave Awana, good morning to you. It's time for another First Alert Traffic update for your morning. I-77 southbound, a crash being reported at exit 5, SC48 Bluff Road. Again, causing some slowdowns there. I-77 southbound, a crash being reported at exit 5. Other than that, for this morning, there have been no other confirmed collisions around the region or big traffic backups. Slowdowns are heavily traveled roadways and interstates. But please be mindful. Make it a great travel day as we push on. And thanks for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
$8:29 on your Thursday morning. Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, live from Stone Stadium. It is the Tony Annan soccer camp that is taking place as some of the campers start to wander in. Some looking, it's day 3. It's day 4. It's day 4. The 3 days. It's been hot. It's been humid. They were in the slides yesterday, played a little sand soccer yesterday, had a good little time yesterday. Yesterday was kind of like the fun pizza style type day. Today's day 4. Come back ready to work today, kids.
What is sand soccer?
They played it on the beach, soccer in the sand. But they played
literally. I didn't know if there was a little different.
They played it, I think, on the beach volleyball fields. They commandeered those for about 2 hours and did that. So they had a lot of fun yesterday because it's obviously weather today. It's supposed to be a little bit different. It rained a little bit this morning.
Yeah, a little wet.
Jen and I ran into some train issues, but we've made it all work, and it's been a lot of fun.
We did have one shower that came through, and that was right when Bill said, hey, you need to go move the truck. So you need to walk to the truck in the rain and then go take it down the hill and then walk back in the rain. Is that how it went?
Yeah, in the studio, you can be the boss. Out here, I have to run things. I got Darlington set up really well a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, that was you.
The only thing that was wrong with our Darlington trip was I wanted to set up on the track. Turned out we could not set up on the track. There was some kind of safety hazard, apparently.
Yeah, a little bit.
And so we ended up setting up in the press box, and I made it work perfectly. And then we had a transition, and so it was a really good time all the way around. We know that now for next year that you cannot set up on the track.
I've already been making plans for this year for September, which it's going to be a good time. I got some surprises for you guys already.
So today we've been out here, and it's been a lot of fun cutting up with Loritz Lillymoose, a midfielder. I don't want to oversell his last name. I feel like
I didn't know if it was Moose or Moose.
Little Moose, I believe. So we've cut up with him and had a good time this morning. Obviously, Coach Annan has been along. Again, it just kind of, I would like to take complete credit for the fact that we are here today on what is, and I'm not overstating this or being dramatic, what is probably in terms of soccer, not sports as a whole. Obviously, Live and PIF and PGA and all that was huge earlier this week. But in terms of soccer, this is probably the biggest news that America's had as a young camper shows up here with an Argentina Lionel Messi jersey on.
Oh, perfect timing.
Messi coming to America and what this does for American soccer, how it will grow the game. Tony Annan is having to get ready, obviously, because doing radio shows is secondary to, actually running your own camp. But Tony was sitting here during a break and was reading, and I don't know if you remember any of the stats. I think they said that Charlotte sold, I believe, I'm going to probably mess this up, and he might be listening right now somewhere out here, but I believe Charlotte sold something in the area of like 10,000 extra tickets.
Yeah, already for their match against
Inter Miami.
Yeah, and like 7,000 were sold in Chicago. It's totally the Messi effect. It's fascinating.
It is most definitely going to be something to kind of monitor and follow. And look, it'll be something, for some of you, it might be a 1/2 type deal where, I've got a feeling, I'm serious about what I'm going to say. Apple TV has some pretty strong rights right now to the MLS, but don't be surprised to see Peacock or maybe another streaming network try to get involved in this and showcase some of his games. Certainly it's for the MLS, for soccer in this country, the World Cup coming up in 2026. This is a huge deal, and we'll kind of see what happens as Lionel Messi yesterday announcing that he will come over and play for Inter Miami. And again, a good fit for him because of the cultural diversity down there. And so a lot of reasons Inter Miami was the easy decision for him. 803-404-6100. Does this take you back to the days you get some little boys over here just squirting water on each other? Remember?
Yeah, it's awfully early to be doing that.
A lot of energy. So we were wrong. We thought some of the kids would be tired. We thought some of them might be a little worn out.
Wait, Mom packed some snacks. I'm going to go ahead and eat them all now before camp starts at 9.
That's right. It's a very, very sophisticated system of getting yourself ready for soccer today.
Which, I don't know, getting up behind somebody and I'll share those pranks later. I was gonna say there's also the thing where you can do water and like you have a turkey baster.
All right, kids, turn the radio. Aunt Jen is right now explaining how to draw on a quarter and tell somebody to run it right down the middle of their forehead through their nose. Aunt Jen right now being a very bad person. But one other thing to get to from yesterday, we've talked a lot, obviously NBA last night, Denver Nuggets just dominating. Nikola Jokic just 32 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists. Absolutely dominant last night for the Nuggets. Kind of reassured my fears that the Miami Heat are going to struggle to be competitive in this series, that if they're going to win another game, a lot of things have to go right for Jimmy Buckets and my Heat, and I just don't see it coming to fruition. Maybe we get to a game 6, but once again, it looks like game 5 could end up being the end of the NBA season. So you had that going last night. Other thing that happened just yesterday, Rory McIlroy talked to the media. And I will admit I was very interested to hear what Rory was going to say whenever he was going to talk. And again, we'll kind of continue to monitor the PIF, to monitor the PGA. I mean, that's what this is. It's PI, it's the Public Investment Fund, and it's the PGA. Live yesterday, Greg Norman did tell his Live employees, we will go. Life goes on. We will continue to. Okay. Yeah, it was a
Live goes on.
Live goes on, and Greg Norman basically saying yesterday, telling his people, he was giving a Wolf of Wall Street kind of speech of, I'm not leaving. That's fine. He might be giving Live all to himself and say, you have no golfers and no money and no golf courses at this moment. Figure out what you're going to do. The Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia will basically pay whatever they've got to pay to get all those golfers back involved in the PGA Tour. But yesterday, Rory McIlroy, the only thing he said that, he said two things that were honest. One, he openly admitted he still hates Live says, this was McElroy speaking, said, I still hate Liv. McElroy said, like, I hate Liv, and you pretty much hate in all caps. He says, I hope it goes away. I would fully expect that it does. I think that's where the distinction here is. This is the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, and the PIF. Very different from Liv. And then McElroy, who basically was the face of this anti-Liv movement, was the guy who challenged any and all comers as it pertains to what Liv is doing, basically admitted that he feels stabbed in the back a little bit, and that right now it's going to be a little difficult to believe in Jay Monahan, but he does have confidence. He says, I've dealt with Jay a lot closer than a lot of these guys, from where we were a couple weeks ago to where we are today. I think the future of the PGA Tour looks brighter as a whole, as an entity. But again, McElroy admitted he felt like the sacrificial lamb, and feeling like he put himself out there and that this is what has happened to him. And I'll be interested to see over the next, few weeks, next few months, as more and more happens here and we get more and more information on Live Golf and what's taking place. I will be interested to see if there's sympathy for Roy McIlroy, because right now I feel like there's a lot of mocking going on. And Jen, I like Roy McIlroy. I think he is well, A, I think he's a good golfer, but B, he seems like somebody that you can promote to your children of like, hey, watch what he does, act like he kind of be who he is, as opposed to some people like I'd be like, that Patrick Reed guy, maybe don't follow him so closely.
Not at all.
Stealing from your teammates, frowned upon in most locker rooms. You can hear the kids in the background.
I know, it's crazy. It's kind of, I'm getting a little fascinated watching them and listening to some of them.
Energy picking up dramatically here. But with that being said, I will be interested to see if there is sympathy for Roy McIlroy for essentially just being treated the way he was by Jay Monahan, by the PGA, by essentially being lied to, by being shipped out there each and every week to defend the PGA and to stand for it. Or do people be like, no, you're a fool. Boy, did you buy in, and this is what you deserve, and you're going to get it, and how will people treat him going forward? Because as we sit here today, just 2 days removed from that big news story, I have sympathy for him. I feel bad that he was treated the way he is, and I don't know if everybody else will have those feelings as well as we move closer to whatever this new world order of golf ends up being. But yesterday, McIlroy talking, he'll participate today in the RBC Canadian Open up in Canada. One place that, at least as of yesterday, I really, to be honest with you, I'm going down a path where I've not looked enough, but is not being affected by the wildfires in Canada. Okay. I did see yesterday the time lapse video of New York.
Oh my gosh!
Have you seen that, of the smoke coming in?
I just kept hearing descriptions.
Absolutely incredible. But so I'll be honest, I've not paid enough attention to that whole situation, but I did catch that last night. 803-404-6100. That's how you can be a part of the program this morning. We'll come back. We will wrap up the Thursday morning edition of the early game. We'll see if we can get a few campers on. You never know. You're always looking for replacements. I'm kind of like Aaron Rodgers over here trying to find a Jordan Love.
Well, and honestly, looking at kind of what's at some of the kids who are out there now, they're about your stature, so we've got that going for us.
Okay.
They might have your they might have your
stature,
sense of humor.
Just called a bunch of kids fat.
I did not. A stature. I'm speaking of height.
803-404-6100. We'll do one more segment while Jen compares me to 6 to 14-year-olds. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Hey there, it's Big Voice Guy again. We told you recently that our main transmitter was damaged during a storm, and we are on our backup transmitter. And that could be affecting how you might pick up 107.5 The Game. Well, we figured it was time to give you an update. Our update is, there is no update. We're still waiting for the transmitter company to give us what we need so we can get our main transmitter up and running, so you can get back to listening to 107.5 The Game the way you used to listen. In the meantime, please download the 107.5 The Game app if you're having any issues. We appreciate your patience and understanding. Thanks for listening to 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the Hot Rod Power Tour. Get ready, Columbia. It's the Hot Rod Power Tour, driven by Continental Tire. Join the party, packed with a sponsor and vendor midway, live entertainment, and a car show. Tuesday, June 13th at South Carolina State Fairgrounds. Register now at hotrodpowertour.us.
If you have tax problems and want to end the frustration of dealing with the IRS, grab a pen and take down this number. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm, located right here in the Midlands. Let us show you what it takes to solve your tax problems once and for all. The first step, which can be one of the hardest, is to take action. Do something. Call me, set an appointment, and meet with me in person. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll show you how to take control of the problem. So if you haven't filed your tax returns for years or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Ecton, at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Learn what it takes to solve your tax problems for good. Take that first step to a better future. Call me, John Ecton.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Welcome back to Carolina Power Equipment and our special guest, Kai Kroger, punter extraordinaire for the University of South Carolina.
Yep, it's Kai Boda country right here at Carolina Power Equipment.
That's Kubota, Kai.
Oh, right. That's what I said.
Tell everyone why you love these Kubota zero turns.
They're like our best running backs. They can cut through anything, and they're built like our biggest linebacker, tough as nails. Plus, they can stop and turn on a dime, just like my sweet kicks.
Don't forget about all the Kubota tractors. This place is a Kubota superstore.
I love these Kubota tractors. They keep winning awards for being the best in the business.
It's like the Ray Guy Award for Best Punter, where you were clearly robbed.
Moving on, if you're a landowner, these Kai Boda tractors simply outkick the competition.
Kai Boda? Nice try, buddy.
Tried a little fake there. I'm kind of known for that.
Carolina Power Equipment, 2490 Charleston Highway in the heart of Casey. Or visit carolinapowerequipment.com.
Kubota, it's the only orange I'll ever love.
If you're thinking about retiring soon, be sure to tune in to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby of Preservation Specialists, Sunday mornings at 10. Join Pat as he talks about the latest trends and headlines that could impact your retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 10 to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby. Securities offered through Arcadios Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Arcadios Wealth. Preservation Specialists and Arcadios are not affiliated through any ownership.
Attention all craft beer anglers. Angry Fish Brewing Company is having its 5th anniversary celebration this Saturday. Kicking off at noon, come enjoy specialty brews throughout the day like Nothing Easy, Keg of 2021, and many more. The popular brews won't last long, so don't miss out. Sarah's Rockin' Kitchen food truck will be there, and great local bands playing throughout the day and into the evening. Plus, plenty of Angry Fish swag to purchase. Angry Fish Brewing Company, 106 Fabrister Lane in Lexington. Angry Fish. We drink all we can and sell the rest.
Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's hottest summer sale is going on now. 15% off all cleaning services. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 15% off your next service. Use promo code SUMMERSALE when scheduling online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Dave, good morning to you. It's time for another First Alert Traffic update for your morning. I-77 southbound, a crash being reported at exit 5, SC48 Bluff Road. Again, causing some slowdowns there. I-77 southbound, a crash being reported at exit 5. Other than that, for this morning, there have been no other confirmed collisions around the region or big traffic backups. Slowdowns are heavily traveled roadways and interstates. But please be mindful. Make it a great travel day as we push on. And thanks for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
$8:47 on a Thursday morning, live from Stone Stadium. Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, Preston Thorne's been here. Langston Moore has been here. We have talked with Coach Tony Annan, of course. Laritz Limus, a midfielder for South Carolina. Most, thank you, has joined us. So we've had a busy morning. I want to tell you real quick about my good friends at Corley Pool Solutions. Give them a phone call today, 803-445-8109. It is summertime. You're ready to go home and jump in your pool in the backyard. But if there's algae in there, if there's dust, if there's pollen, if there's leaves, well, nobody wants to jump in a pool that's dirty. Use Corley Pool Solutions. Over 20 years of experience in the industry. They will treat and maintain your pool on a weekly basis for a flat rate price, including all of the chemicals. So don't wait any longer. Get in touch with Tracy Corley today. Get that appointment lined up. Nobody better in the business. Servicing Lexington and Chapin, Corley Pool Solutions, 803-445-8109. That's how you can reach Corley Pool Solutions today. Again, it is more affordable for you to use Corley Pool Solutions for you to try and maintain the pool yourself. That's 803-445-8109. That is Corley Pool Solutions. I'm joined here by a couple members of Lexington Soccer Academy. Some very excited young men. You three don't look tired at all, Austin. Did y'all get good nights of sleep? Did you get good nights of sleep last night?
I mean, I did.
You did, yes. I was in full control last night of making sure you got a good night of sleep. Hudson?
Yes.
Hudson Nichols there and Anthony Lopez. Anthony, what about you?
I had a good night of sleep.
Okay, good. All right. So they're ready. Day three. So let's start with Anthony. How has the camp been so far? Day 4. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, you've been through 3 days. Thank you, Austin, for correcting me. Good. It's not like I have Jen here to correct me. Now I got Austin correcting me too. It's just a fantastic job I have. Anthony, how's it been so far?
It's been fun. I just like being here with all the coaches and learning things from them.
Hudson, what do you think so far? Hudson Nichols, what's your opinion so far of the camp?
I like it very much. It's a good time to spend time with friends and learning a lot of new skills you need to learn, and especially learning with coaches you love. I love the camp a lot. I think I should come more often. I should come a lot.
So if Coach Annan we'll tell him he needs to have the camp more often, Coach Annan. More camps, less schoolwork during the year. Austin, you and Hudson in particular have gotten to work with a Gamecock player this week, Junior St. Jude, who is a lot of fun. A lot of our guys, I see Davis Hendricks out there. I know last year he got to work with him. What's been your opinion of working with a current South Carolina soccer player?
Junior's amazing. He's fun to work with. He's got a funny personality. He loves competitiveness, and he pushes us to be better.
Anthony, what's it when you to work with some of the coaches and then see them play? Because we all came to the South Carolina Clemson game earlier this year, or I guess last year. But what's it like to work with a coach and then get the chance to actually see them play?
I just think it's a big thing for other kids to work with coaches that actually play.
Has it helped you think, get better?
Yeah, really.
Okay. And Hudson, now you're a big Gamecock fan. You're one of us. You're one of maybe one day to be you and Austin sitting here doing this as big Gamecock fans. What's your thoughts on South Carolina soccer so far? You got to watch a couple matches this year, and again, you get to work with Junior and a couple others. Speaking of Junior, there he is right there, isn't he? Look at him. Yeah, he's fired up and ready for the day. What's been your opinion of Junior so far, working with some of the coach,
he's
players?
An amazing coach. He has, like Austin said, he has a funny personality. He gives us real fun challenges that can be competitive. Also, maybe without him, it could have been hard for me to understand a lot of drills we've been doing. He gives us lots of examples and what we could things we should do. And then when he goes in the games, it's more of an example because he's actually using it with his with his best.
There you
so I
go.
get to see more.
So lots of fun has been had out here. 2 more days to go today and tomorrow. But let's get to the big news. The big big news. Yes, I'm going to brag for a minute. So y'all y'all three just think it's a coincidence that we're here today. But I knew Lionel Messi was coming to Miami, and that's why I was like, that's why we're here today, celebrating soccer. Let's start with this. Anthony, who is your worldwide favorite soccer player?
Mbappe.
Mbappe? Where you going, Austin?
Lionel Messi.
Where you going?
Messi.
So none of y'all are going with Erling Haaland?
I mean, I'm a City fan, but Holland is just not there yet in terms of age.
Oh.
He is not. He's good, but he's not like old enough to be considered like.
Oh, good. So I'm in on the ground floor of the Erling Haaland. You hear that, everybody? I'm ahead of the kids here on this. I'm in on the get me an Erling Haaland jersey. But let's do this. Austin, you said you like Messi. You're a big fan. What is your thought on him coming to Miami?
Messi coming to Miami is a big thing for MLS. It's going to help people watch MLS, and the more they watch MLS, the better.
Anthony, unfortunately, Mbappe is now going to have to do everything on his own, right? Now
Well, he's still got Neymar.
Messi
got Neymar.
Still has Neymar.
Yeah.
Messi's leaving PSG, but
He's
one of Anthony's favorite teams is Inter Miami, right? You're pretty excited. I know you and your mother are very excited about this.
Yeah.
So where do you know where Miami is finished so far in MLS this year?
No, not really.
It's the bottom.
They were 11th, like 19th.
Yeah, they were close to the bottom. So is Messi the person who brings a championship to Inter Miami?
I'd have to say yes.
Of course you would. Yes. Although Mbappe's your guy. Hudson, how excited are you to see a guy you just mentioned is your favorite player? Now you have, maybe if he comes to Charlotte or you have to travel maybe to Atlanta, how excited would you be to see Messi in person?
It's very exciting because I've never seen him in person, and I like seeing his skills. He can juke like the whole team at least. I'd rather see him play Barcelona because he was like just too good. Mm-hmm. But now he's still good, and it's so cool that I get to see him in person. Maybe get a signature at the end. I don't know. If I want it. If he
Good luck, Dad. That's going to cost some money. I think we heard today that the ticket prices for Messi have.
But it's going to be a lot to see. Because it's going to be more expensive maybe because of the match. And it's very exciting to see him in person.
Good deal. So we've got all that. You guys have had a lot of fun. Anthony, favorite part of the camp this week?
Water Day.
Water Day yesterday. Austin, favorite part of the camp this week?
Favorite part of the camp is when we do the scrimmages.
Scrimmages? Okay. And if you upheld the gunner name properly?
I have. I mean, like, in terms of soccer, I don't think there's a gunner name.
Oh,
but
thanks.
I have upheld what I thought.
It's true. I did post a picture the other day on Twitter of me winning a state championship in basketball. Hudson, favorite part of the camp?
Same as Anthony.
Water Day. Real quick, explain what Water Day is.
Water Day is a day where there's like big water slides, and there was one station where you could have like soccer, but it was on the volleyball court, so it was beach soccer. Mm-hmm. And there was another station where there was kickball, and you play kickball. And there was also water slides that you could go on, so you would rotate. And I think personally, my favorite was the water slides because there was lots of things you could do, like a variety, probably. Okay. There's tall ones. There was an obstacle course that was many for kids, so it gave a lot of options for others.
Cool. And Austin, I understand you saved Junior's phone yesterday.
Saved his phone from the water from the.
Because as we all understand as adults, when your phone gets wet and you don't have a cell phone, it's absolutely miserable. So, guys, real quick before I let you go, would y'all recommend coming to Tony Annan's soccer camp?
Yes. Yeah, you should come.
I should come, yes.
All right. Not you, but others. Yeah, they should come.
Guys, good job. Gonna have to probably negotiate a lower salary. They're gonna take my job pretty much. Appreciate everybody coming out today. Langston Moore, Preston Thorne, Coach Tony Annan, again, Laritz Lillemoose joining us. It's been a lot of fun out here. Absolutely great job. Bennett Popa waves and says hello. Nayland Shinoy, Davis Hendricks, Yeah, they're all hanging out and enjoying it. The Lexington Soccer Academy boys are all out here, united from here in town. It's a really neat camp. Encourage you to check it out. Go to tasccamps.com. You can see more camp information. Jen, we made it. We survived the trains. We did everything.
I tell you what, it's been an adventure this morning.
It has been an adventure.
My hair is terrible.
Now you get to sit here. Actually, we're just going to turn them over to the coaches.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
We're back in studio tomorrow. See y'all then.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
What's up, y'all? This Gamecocks wide receiver Juice Wells. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
OMG. New Jeeps, $10,000 off. Gotta go to Galliano. It's Jeep season at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. New Jeep Grand Cherokees, up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators, up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month. Plus, we'll take any trade in any condition, and we'll get you out of your current lease or loan, even if you have months left or still owe thousands. You'll be shocked by how much Galliana will give you for your trade toward the purchase of a new Chrysler or Jeep. New Jeep Grand Cherokees, up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators, up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com. Gotta go to Galliana. Max savings on Gladiator stock number 34014. Grand Cherokee stock number 37054. 36 month lease, $49.99 due at signing. Plus tax and tag and closing fee. No security deposit. Regular trade that refinance and new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers don't.
Pro Paint Days are here at Lowe's. Now through June 16th, Lowe's MVPs members can start earning 20% back in paint rewards via Lowe's e-gift card when you spend $100 or more on qualifying paint purchases. Stock up on top paint brands like our new and exclusive HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Spec Right Pro Interior Paint. Lowe's knows pros. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
Hey, Jay, can you finish that induction range installation tomorrow?
Orders have really amped up at Nate's Electric.
We need to finish installing it first in Maine. Did we hear back from the grocery chain?
It's no shock he needs electricians, like yesterday.
Smart fridge. Everybody wants one of those these days.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español.
Gracias, Babbel.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.
Each year, the number of people living with HIV/AIDS continues to grow due to longer survival for those infected. Know your status. DHEC South Carolina AIDS STD hotline is available to answer any questions you may have about HIV testing. Call 1-800-322-AIDS for more information about HIV testing and prevention. Sponsored by South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, celebrating the incomparable Silverado. For the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Find yours at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. In the bonus.
With Colin Taylor from Gamecock Central and Tyler Head.
Powered by Twin Peaks and Canty Foundation Specialists.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
And welcome into In the Bonus with Colin Taylor. I'm Tyler Head here on 107.5 The Game on your Thursday morning, June the 8th. By the way, shout out to my nephew. Today is his 9th birthday.
Big shouts. Big Neff.
It's weird. I was in the hospital when he was born. Now he's 9 years old. Time's going by fast, man.
I hate that. That's like the worst is like seeing that. It just seeing time pass like that. Like we when we moved into our like childhood home, like our neighbor had a young child, and then by the time we moved out of my childhood home, he was like in college. And I hated every minute of that.
Yeah, that's like I know. I guess I can call them kids now that are like graduating high school. That I'm like, I remember when you were born, when you were an infant, and now you're going to college. This doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, no, I hate that. I hate every bit of that.
And then it dawns on me like, wow, I'm about to turn 27.
Yeah, well, like that's the weird part too, is that I mean, I just turned 28 a few weeks ago, and it got weirder when the players that I'm covering are now younger than my little brother.
I was just thinking about this morning. You know, obviously Wes and I talk a lot about recruiting on the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs, and thinking about like the class of 2024, the class of 2025, like these guys are born in like 2007.
Yeah, I
was
hate it.
like, I was in middle school, man.
Yeah, no, like that's the worst part. Where to, like, Kendall and our lovely other intern Michael Sauls would do that on road trips where they're only like, I mean, I want to say 6-7 years younger than me,
right,
at that point, and they're talking about like, yeah, this song was at my prom in the throwback section. I was like, this song was also at my prom, like at my prom.
It was current. It was on the Billboard Top 100.
Yeah, like this was a song that was popular back in 2008, 2009 when I was in middle school, like in the 2010s, early 2010s when I was in high school. So it makes me feel very old.
It's crazy. Well, something that also hasn't happened in a couple of years is South Carolina going to a super regional for baseball. And of course, they're getting ready to do that tomorrow, heading down to Gainesville. And Colin, you're not going to be making the trip to Gainesville.
That is correct. I have a longtime friend. We've known each other since we were 13 years old. Speaking of time passing,
yes,
where has his bachelor party this week, and I'm in his wedding, and so I'm going to be spending time with him, celebrating him before they had a wedding shower when I was in Arkansas.
Okay,
and I had to miss that, and so now I don't want to miss another thing before the wedding in August.
So are we like, are you going to have like the game on your phone at a bar? Like, what are we talking here?
I am like, my chest is tight at times thinking about missing it, just because like the postseason is a reward. But
sure.
And he's a huge South Carolina fan, so we were talking about it about a week ago before the tournament starts, and I was like, "Listen, if I get through this thing, like I have a decision to make." And he goes, "No, I get it." He goes, "I understand how tough a decision that is."
Now, did he plan this assuming they weren't going to get this far?
It was more about like what time best fit for him.
Okay.
And
That's
so
fair.
like,
And
and
I think we got to understand, not everybody's in the realm that we are with these sports where they think about those kind of things.
not everyone, when they get invited to do something, has to go to go to the Gamecocks online website and
Right.
be like, "Is there a baseball game today? Is there
Like,
a
hey,
basketball game today?"
buddy, they're taking on Missouri this weekend. I don't
Yeah.
know what to tell you.
Right. It's not great for my brother has a spring birthday. I have a spring birthday. My father has a fall birthday. My wife has a fall birthday.
Ooh.
So there's never a slow time in college athletics,
Sure.
especially now with, let's just say, I mean, obviously if baseball wins this weekend, there's more to cover, but let's
Sure.
just, if baseball season does end this weekend, it's not just, okay, cool. See you in mid-July for SEC Media Days. It's
Right.
portal. It's the MLB draft. It's this, it's that, it's whatever. And now it doesn't stop.
Yeah, certainly no days off. And you were out there yesterday talking to Coach Kingston and a couple of players after practice for, of course, they're getting ready to head down to Gainesville, and got a little bit of last minute insight from Kingston and the guys about what's been going on and everything, reflecting on the regional this past weekend. I want to play a couple of cuts from Coach, starting out with him just kind of talking about the mental strength of this team through the ups and downs of the season.
Well, I mean, again, we were as good as anybody for the first 40 games, and so then we had some adversity hit, and we had to handle that. So, in terms of improvement, I would say just mentally, these kids have learned some good lessons over the course of the year. And generally, teams that have to struggle to get to the end are better suited to handle adversity as it comes in the postseason. And sometimes, if it's too easy all year, then it might catch up to you. So. This is a team that's better off because they went through some adversity. So
and that's something that you could see over the course of the last month leading into that regional is they just looked slower, looked a little bit more lethargic. They were making mistakes in the field, just not playing the same way they obviously played through those first 40 games. And when I was talking to you last night about, you being out there talking to these guys yesterday, you said one thing that stuck out to you was just the confidence that you could see from everybody just in the way that they were speaking, the way that they were going about things. Like they've got their mojo back, it seems like.
Yeah, and let's take everything with a grain of salt. For as good as NC State and Campbell are as teams, they are not the number 3 RPI team in the country.
Sure.
So competition ticks up. But South Carolina, if they had won that regional, beaten Central Connecticut State 9-2, 9-3, then beat NC State 3-1, then beat Campbell 5-2, you'd feel really good about the pitching.
Sure.
But you go down to Florida and you're like, I don't know. Like, is the offense? You looked how you were supposed to look.
Yeah.
If you're South Carolina, I think that's the big things. They got back. They preached for a literal month. If we get our horses back and they're ready to go, we can get back to being that team.
Right.
We can get back to that. We just need to be able to hit a reset button, and we don't have that luxury right now. Get through the SEC tournament, get into a regional, and let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
And they looked like an Omaha team this past weekend.
Sure.
Now they're also going up against an offense and a Florida team that has also looked like an Omaha team for literally the entire season. I mean, they went in with Omaha expectations. They're coming into this super regional with Omaha expectations, same as South Carolina. So it's going to be a really fun series, and you can make the case that this is quite literally the most up in the air super going into this weekend, because these are two just incredibly evenly matched baseball teams.
Right. And I know it's got to do something for them as well. And again, we talked about this the other day. There's no possible way to block out all the noise. You're going to either see it yourself or have people tell you, hey, here's what so-and-so or this publication says about your team and what you guys are going to be able to do and all that kind of stuff. So the fact that they were able to get through the regional, and again, they proved a lot of people wrong who thought, oh, they shouldn't be hosting, what's the deal with that? And they proved all those people wrong, sweeping the regional and now moving on to the super for the first time since 2018. Just the fact that they've gotten farther than most would have expected them to go also, I think, does a lot for saying, hey, we're outperforming where they thought we were going to be.
Do you know how many super regionals Florida's been to since 2018?
That would be 0.
Yep. Same number.
Yep.
Well, no, this is their first super regional since 20. No, I think it is 20.
So they won the World Series in 17.
Yeah.
They made it back in 18.
Right.
And got bounced and have not been back to
a super
since then.
Right. So these are the good news for South Carolina is these are two rosters that have never experienced. The only players, I believe, because Casas, I don't think played in a super last year.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of any of the Caleb Denny didn't play in a super last year. Oral Roberts wasn't in a super.
Right.
Clemson wasn't in a super for Dylan Brewer and Jonathan French.
So truly.
Will McGillis. Will McGillis is the only one at Southern Miss.
Wow. Okay.
And ironically enough, the only player at Florida who's played in a super regional is Hurston Waldrop, the Saturday starter,
right,
who was teammates with Will McGillis at Southern Miss last year.
Isn't it funny how those things work out?
So very interesting. The bad news for South Carolina, I'm looking at Florida's year-by-year results. So Kevin O'Sullivan in 2009 was eliminated in a super regional.
Okay.
Since then, Florida has either made it to the College World Series or been eliminated in a regional. When they have, since 2010, when they have gotten to a super, they have won the super.
Okay.
Which is not great news for South Carolina, but
sure,
if you're South Carolina, you go down there and say, listen, at some point they got to lose a home super.
Right.
Why not this year?
Yeah,
at some point we got to go Florida's not going to lose this super.
Right.
And that's so cliche. Florida won't lose it, but South Carolina's got to go down there and win it. And it's a cliche thing, but you just got to go down there and play well. And if you do, you showed what playing well looks like against Florida.
Right.
And that's what you try to go down there to do with the chance at Omaha on the line.
I want to go back to something you were mentioning a second ago about nobody outside of McGillis on this team having any super regional experience and or any postseason experience, that is, super regional. Sorry. But Kingston talked about this yesterday about, despite that, how much the veterans on this team have helped bring the younger guys along, even without necessarily all that postseason experience. Here's what Kingston had to say.
It's big. I mean, Will Sanders coming back as a veteran is important, and we've got a lot of guys that are veterans that are having really good years. That being said, we also play 5 underclassmen, which sometimes gets lost on people. They think this was all just a transfer portal story, and nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, we're playing 5 underclassmen and pitching a lot of underclassmen as well. So I think that bodes well for us.
Hey, Mark.
And even for these guys, again, the vast majority of them have not gotten this far in the postseason. When you talk about a guy like Will Sanders or some of these other veterans that have just played a lot of college baseball, that's still very beneficial to these younger guys. And I look at a guy like Ethan Petrie, who, at the beginning of the year looked like he was this unstoppable force that was going to hit 100 home runs. Then he runs into his lull towards the end of the season there. Now seems to have picked it back up a little bit. But, there's the ups and downs that these guys are going to go through because they're not used to playing just purely this many baseball games in this shorter period of time compared to like what they did in high school or whatever. And that's where a veteran like a Will Sanders, now Will McGillis, who does have the postseason experience, can really help these guys out and, help them along as the season goes along, however much farther they're going to go.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at who was impactful in this regional. Will McGillis, 8th year senior, it feels like. Braylon Wimmer, who's been in college for a decade, and that's Dr. Wimmer to you. Joking, of course, but Wimmer, James Hicks, Jack Mahoney, Will Sanders, all upperclassmen who have played a ton of baseball. Hicks at the junior college level more so than the college level, at the Division I level. But you also look at Ethan Petrie, a freshman, hitting .333 for the regional. Cole Messina goes 4 for 12 with 4 walks and 6 runs scored. Talmadge LeCroy, the heart of your order, your 3, 4, 5 hitters in that regional were either true sophomores or true freshmen. Now you had 2 upperclassmen setting the table for him in McGillis and Wimmer, but that's huge. Your best bullpen guy right now, Chris Veach, I want to say he's a junior, but he didn't play a whole lot last year.
Right.
Eli Jones is a true sophomore. Kate Austin is a redshirt sophomore. For as much as we talk about Jack Mahoney being an upperclassman, this is his first full season in college. So as a pitcher coming off Tommy John, there's a lot of young talent on this team. Now the frontline guys, your McGillis's, your Wimmers, your Sanders, Mahoney's, Hicks's, are all upperclassmen, and they're going to phase out. But right now, they came back. They came to South Carolina to get this program back to Omaha, and they really are relishing this opportunity to do it. To do it first and foremost, but also this is a Florida team that eliminated South Carolina from the SEC tournament last year.
Right.
In a game that you could argue should have gone longer. Florida scored an unearned run in the bottom of the 10th inning or the 11th inning to win that game on a play at the plate where Talmadge LeCroy, oddly enough, dropped a ball that was delivered from Evan Stone. So they're relishing this opportunity to go down there. Now they got to play well, and it's a tough challenge, and Florida's the betting favorite for a reason. But if they play well, they have a really good chance to go down there and take 2 games.
Right. All right, we will up next hear a little bit more from Coach Kingston, and Colin has a very good analytical breakdown of Florida and how they fare against teams that pitch very, very well. We'll hit that next. You're listening to In the Bonus With Colin Taylor, I'm Tyler Head on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Former Science with the CBS Sports Minute. Sponsored by AutoZone. Get the Zone, AutoZone. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Kim Clijsters. The ever-popular 40-year-old Belgian Hall of Famer won 3 U.S. Opens, including one as a wild card, plus an Australian crown. What does she share in common with Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and LeBron James? They're all recent investors in Major League Pickleball. I'm Former Science. CBS Sports Radio.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. Consider STP Conventional to save on motor oil for your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Get the complete job done at the right price at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Men, you fought hard for the role that you play in your children's lives. This Father's Day, Cordell & Cordell celebrates you the entire month of June. Join us every Friday for our live webinar series, Father's Fridays. There you'll receive...
She's moving to Georgia.
Jadis Podiatry Clinic's top nurse quit, leaving her business toes up.
We've got 6 procedures and 3 major surgeries in the next 2 days.
She needs a new RN who can think on their feet.
There's no way I can do all these procedures on my own.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At the Home Depot, we take Father's Day seriously. Why not get doing and give Dad a gift card that gets him out of the house and into new projects? Because the dads who do the most deserve the most, whether he's into woodworking, yard work, or grilling up something for the family. A Home Depot gift card gives your dad the power to get everything he needs to keep doing the most. Shop today for a gift that powers Dad at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, June 9th through the 12th, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Owners Gene and Debbie Royer of All American Heating and Air.
I think that's the biggest mistake ever of putting a technician on commission. My technician has no reason to overcharge. We don't do that.
You can trust All American.
When your heating and air breaks down, it's an emergency to you. It's an emergency to us also.
All American's technicians are NATE certified.
Let our family help your family. We're All American.
All American Heating and Air.
AllAmericanHeatingandAir.com.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. In the Bonus with Colin Taylor from Gamecock Central.
And Tyler Head.
Powered by Twin Peaks and Canty Foundation Specialists on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Again, they have 3 first-rounders in their weekend rotation. They have a potential first pick overall in Langford. Caglione would be a very high first-round pick as a hitter or a pitcher next year. They're just extremely talented. When you're in the state of Florida, like they are, and you're the only SEC team, you're going to get the best players in the state of Florida. And we know Florida is one of the top talent-producing states in the country. So they're always going to be very ultra-talented.
And welcome back into In the Bonus with Colin Taylor. I'm Tyler Head on 107.5 The Game. That was a little bit more from Coach Kingston yesterday, meeting with the media after practice as the team now gets ready to head down to Gainesville for the Super Regional against Florida. First game coming up tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Pre-game coverage can be heard right here on 107.5 The Game starting at 5:45. Saturday's game, first pitch at 3 o'clock. Pre-game coverage starting at 2:45 here on 107.5 The Game. And, you know, that answer there was comes off the question that was posed about what's different about Florida this time around as opposed to when you played them a month and a half ago.
Wonder who asked it.
What's that?
Wonder who asked it.
Yeah, I wonder who did ask that question. Who knows? But, you know, he's harping on the talent level of these guys. And while, yes, you swept Florida earlier this year, and those key guys like Caglione, BT Riopol, among others, didn't have great series. When you look at their numbers as a whole, like, you're going to be very hard-pressed to hold those guys down once again. And when you look at how all of them performed in their Super Regional, they are riding a wave of momentum coming in. In their Regional, they're riding a wave of momentum coming in to this Super Regional. So it's almost like playing a brand new team this time around.
Yeah, and they're clicking right now. When you talk about Florida's Florida period over their last 4 SEC series, excluding the SEC tournament, which I don't hold in a lot of high regard when you talk about a sample size of games at random times and rain delays. Florida's offense over their final 12 regular season SEC games was hitting 283 as a team, hitting or getting on base at a 372 clip and slugging 531. So this is a team that can strike out a good bit. They don't get on base at an incredibly high clip, but they hit for average and they hit for power. And when you do those things, you tend to have good offensive performances. And the pitching had a 4.36 ERA as a staff with a 1.28 whip, which is really good. So this is an offense that if you can keep them in the ballpark, you have a shot. And a pitching staff that, while it doesn't give up a ton of base runners, what it does do is walk a good number of guys and give up a good number of extra base hits. So if you're South Carolina, you hope that fits into what you can do, if that makes sense. Like, South Carolina has prided itself on being able to kind of pitch out of jams, has given up a home run or two, but you hope that when you do, it's a solo shot, which is what happened earlier this season. You gave up 3 home runs in Founders. Every single one of them was a 1-run solo homer. And then you can attack that pitching staff and hit some extra base hits, hit some home runs, and kind of do what you did, kind of mimic the game plan that you saw against Florida earlier in the season, where you're just hitting a bunch of home runs, getting on base, and driving them in with extra base hits.
Right. And I was thinking about, you know, the talent level of this team. And again, it's almost like playing an entirely different team compared to what you played a month and a half ago. And I was curious who the X factors are going to be for the South Carolina team. Like, if this guy or these couple of guys play the way they need to play, South Carolina will absolutely win this series. And I keep thinking too, it's got to be Hicks and Mahoney, in my opinion, because as we've seen, when you're starting pitching, and this is obvious baseball logic, I feel like, but when your starting pitching falls in line, usually everything else falls in line behind it. And for that month or so that South Carolina was losing more than it was winning, they were finding themselves behind 2 to 3 runs after 2 to 3 innings and having to claw their way back. This regional this past weekend, they only trailed for half an inning against Campbell on Sunday. Like, they did the complete 180 and started jumping on their opponents very, very quickly while the starting pitching held them in check. And that's going to be a very big key, in my opinion, to beating this Florida team, is jumping on them early and having your starting pitching hold them down for a significant amount of innings.
Yeah, and that's what you saw that stretch earlier in the year. We keep falling back to earlier in the year because that was when South Carolina was playing really well.
Sure.
And so that's not it's a new season. Like they said it yesterday. I agree with it. Like that Florida team is different than what you saw in April, and the South Carolina team is different than what you saw in April. Good and bad in both. If you're South Carolina during that stretch where you were playing really well and trying to find ways to win games and, sitting atop the RPI, let's not forget that they were number 1 in the RPI going into that Auburn series.
Right.
They were scoring first. I think they scored in the first inning of like 8 straight games or something like that, something insane. So that's what you got to do. You got to start fast, and you got to hope that Hicks and Mahoney and that pitching staff can keep Florida down. It's hard to keep that offense down time in and time out. But what you do is you hope that because you have a really deep and good pitching staff, this was the top half of the SEC pitching staff, point blank period. Even with the injuries and the struggles at points during the year, this was the top half of the SEC pitching staff. What you hope is you keep them down long enough and let your offense go to work. And you saw that against NC State. They were starting a really good pitcher, but South Carolina's pitching was just as good, and it kept him down and kept him down and kept him down, and it allowed that offense to kind of chip away and chip away and chip away. And then you have that big, I think, 4-run inning. You get the big 2-run inning after that, go up 6-0, and then you hold on essentially for dear life at the end there with so many base runners and getting out of situations. That's the key this weekend, is if the pitching can keep Florida down early, especially, and allow that offense to get to work and try to get to that Florida bullpen, you feel pretty good about where you are and what you can do over that 3-game stretch.
There's one player for South Carolina that sticks out to you as the X factor. Who is it?
Braylon Wimmer. Easy. It's Wimmer has had 40 at-bats against Florida over his career, dating back to 2021. He is hitting .275, getting on base at a .341 clip, which is fine. But he's slugging .475 with a .371 batting average on balls in play. So he has 11 hits over his career against Florida and 40 at-bats. 6 have gone for extra bases, 5 doubles and a home run. So, and I don't know if we've seen the Braylon Wimmer win-loss splits, but when he is winning, when he plays and South Carolina wins, he's hitting like 380.
Yeah.
And hitting below 200 in losses that they play. And I think Wimmer, South Carolina is now 37-6 when he starts at shortstop.
Okay. It's significant.
I mean, like, I don't like doing when he's there, blah, blah, blah. But like,
sure, the numbers back it up.
Right. When it's that drought, when you're 31 games above 500 at that point, it makes sense. Like because it's not just Wimmer out there, because he is really good at the plate and a really solid defensive piece. It's more about what happens around it. Everyone just kind of, the confidence level increases. You get to move people maybe more to their natural positions. Michael Braswell can slide to second or third. You don't have to play. You can slide Tippett to center and Brewer to left. The lineup you saw with Wimmer there helps with that. And so if you're South Carolina, getting Braylon Wimmer going and having him have a good series. He didn't have a great series this year against Florida. He was 2 for 9, but had a huge home run, drove in 4 over the course of the weekend. You need him to do similar things and walked as many times as he struck out with 1 hit by pitch. So you need him to continue to kind of do what he's been doing against good pitching, because if he's setting the table for you and getting on base for the Ethan Petries, for the Cole Messinas and Gavin Costas's and Talmadge Lee Crows of the world,
right,
that puts a lot of pressure on that defense and that Florida pitching staff.
Absolutely. We'll come back around to this a little bit later on in the show. Before we hit the next break, though, as always, we've got to thank our friends over at Canty Foundation Specialists for being such a great supporter. And as it rained overnight, if you're having troubles with your crawl space foundation, you need to give Canty a call.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we've said for a while, support the people that support our show, and Canty is a great supporter. It is rainy season in South Carolina, the entire Southeast. So if you're looking at potential foundation problems, potential crawl space problems, Canty is the place where you can go to get that looked at. Anything from cracks in your exterior brick, cracks in walls or above windows and door frames, Uneven or bouncy floors could be signs of foundation problems. We did rain overnight and high humidity and condensation, which South Carolina is known for. That can cause some mold, pests, termites, anything like that in your home. Canty can come out, take a look for you, get that checked out, and see if you need to take any extra steps to make sure your house is standing on as firm a foundation as possible. So go to cantycanfixit.com, get your house right, because it's not going to stop raining over the next 4 to 6 months in South Carolina as the humidity continues on.
Right. Up next, I informed Colin yesterday of the Prep Super League, and he really, really wants to talk about it. We'll hit that next on In the Bonus with Colin Taylor. I'm Tyler Head on 107.5 The Game.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
The Sportsman's Warehouse Father's Day sale is going on now, and you'll find everything you need for outdoor summer fun and great gifts for Dad. Right now, you can save 20 to 35% on everything from tents and lanterns to camp chairs and coolers. And it's Benchmade Days. Get a $10 gift card with every $100 you spend on Benchmade knives. So gear up for unforgettable during the Father's Day sale at Sportsman's Warehouse.
Interest rates are going up all over town, but Galliana Kia has rates going down, down, down. Now you can finance a new Kia at 0% APR at Galliana Kia on Greystone. Or you can buy now and pay later with no payments all summer long. 2023 Kia Rio LX, just $16,990. And any trade goes. We'll get you out of your current loan or lease, even if you're over mileage, have months left, or still owe thousands. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. If you've got a job and you make at least $2,000 per month, our lenders can get you approved for a new Kia with 0% APR financing. Summer sales event at Galliana Kia on Greystone, I-126 Zoo exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Rio stock number 3K1127 plus tax and tax includes $225 closing fee. To qualified buyers, $41.66 per month per $1,000 borrowed for 24 months at 0 APR with 0 down. Dealer rebates up to $400 per month till September. Negative trade equity financed to new loans subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine, expires month end.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews.
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
And we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Champion Defense Firearms Training and Sales. Committed to the highest quality education, focused on leadership, safety, innovation, and advanced skills. CWP, basic pistol, and advanced pistol classes are available. Shop online with thousands of items to choose from. Visit ChampionDefenseLLC.com. And now open the Champion Defense Shooting Complex and Sportsman Club. Located on 2040 Pine Plain Road off I-26, exit 125 in Swansea. Champion Defense Firearms Training and Sales invites you to get a membership for yourself or as a gift for family or friends. They have multiple plans to fit any budget, including individual, family, monthly plans, and more. Don't miss the Champion Defense Sweet Deal of the Week. Just log on to 1075thegame.com at 9 a.m. this Friday to get an annual family plan valued at $400, half off for just $200. Includes family household, 2-gate access cards, and 2 guests per visit. But hurry, only a limited quantity available.
This message is brought to you by True Coverage.
I really needed health insurance for me and my son, but didn't think I could afford anything. So I called. They looked up my zip code, and based on my income and where I live, they found out I qualify for no-cost health insurance. It took just minutes. They even found me a dental plan.
If you don't have health insurance or your health insurance cost is too high, listen to this because you may be eligible for no-cost health insurance. That's right. You could qualify for zero-cost health insurance for you and your family that covers all costs for things like doctor's visits and prescriptions prescription medications. Call now for free to see if your income level and zip code qualifies you for zero-cost health insurance. Plus, see if you qualify for a cash card where you could earn cash of up to $500 to use for groceries, utilities, and more. Don't wait. Call 800-659-8253 right now to see if you and your family qualify for no-cost health insurance. The call is free, and it takes just minutes to see if you instantly qualify. Call 800-659-8253. That's 800-659-8253. 800-659-8253.
In the bonus with Colin Taylor from Gamecock Central.
And Tyler Head.
Powered by Twin Peaks and Canty Foundation Specialists on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
And welcome back into In the Bonus with Colin Taylor. I'm Tyler Head here on 107.5 The Game on your Thursday morning. Again, just a little over a day away from South Carolina, heading down to Gainesville to take on the Gators in Super Regional action. First pitch coming up tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Pregame coverage can be heard right here on 107.5 The Game starting at 5:45. I want to switch gears for just a moment here. As I mentioned before the break there, Colin, you had not heard of this Prep Super League before yesterday when I sent you the link to the article about it, correct?
Correct. We were texting back and forth last night about what we wanted to talk about, and you were like, well, we could talk about this Prep Super League. And I was like, the what now? And you had to send me the article for me to read. So that was my first time seeing it, and I can confirm it is a thing, apparently.
It is going to be attempted. I can say that much. And for those that are not familiar, I'll give you the quick rundown. Brian Woods, who is the former president of the new iteration of the USFL, which is now in its second season, is attempting to start this high school superstar league that has aspirations to begin in the April of 2024. And they're going to be in select cities across the country like Atlanta, Dallas, Los Angeles, Phoenix, highly populated areas where they're essentially going to form these super teams, theoretically, of the best high school recruits in the nation. They will play like a 6-week schedule, and this will be an opportunity for those players to go up against elite competition, to be seen by scouts, and to ultimately help them, with their recruiting into college. But there's a lot of holes in this.
What?
And that's the issue that I see here. And maybe Mr. Woods and his representatives will give further explanation down the road. But just based on this initial story and press release, there's so much within this that has unanswered questions, because the biggest thing here is they're claiming that this is going to operate independent of high school state athletic associations. If you know anything about high school state athletic associations, they're very hard to negotiate with at times.
Yep.
Especially when you're talking about doing this over the course of, 8 to 10 different states, and each state has their own guidelines and rules and stuff like that. The league would be taking rising juniors and seniors. So students that are in their sophomore and junior years of high school, because again, this will be in the spring, that still have at least one more season of high school football to play that fall. I don't see how these guys wouldn't become ineligible from participating in this series, again, because every state has different guidelines with their high school associations.
Yeah, this feels like something that's great in theory.
Sure.
You're like, yeah, this is awesome, because basketball does it, where it's yeah, of course they have all these prep schools like Mount Verde and Wasatch, where Colin Murray Boyles, a South Carolina signee, now enrollee, went. And you see it all the time with these prep schools that do it, especially in the Northeast. They're becoming more popular, but that's a very different talent.
But the prep schools themselves still play within
a league, yes.
A league in the fall, and they compete. And some of them don't compete for the state championship, because that's deemed, an unfair advantage, like IMG Academy.
Right.
They still play a fall season. They play against other legitimate schools. They're not operating in this completely different league outside of the high school ranks.
Right. And they play in the NIBC, the basketball. I think it's the national, might be interscholastic basketball conference or something like that. And it's a countrywide thing. Legacy Early College is in it, up in Greenville. Mount Verde's in it. Wasatch is in it. Prolific Prep, I want to say, is in it. So there's these big schools, but Legacy also plays in the Bojangles Bash. They'll play, insert 4A high school, really good 4A high school here. So there's pieces that just don't line up. And again, great in theory, but when you start to like peel back the layers of it, you're like, it seems like there's a lot of like holes you could poke into this thing that could cause this to crumble before it even gets off the ground.
And let's say this does come to fruition. And I mentioned this is going to be in 12 markets across the country, places like Atlanta, Houston, LA, Miami, Phoenix, San Diego. Again, highly populated areas where you do have a lot of great high school talent that has the potential to join this league again, should it actually all happen. If you're a 5-star kid in Columbia, South Carolina, or Richmond, Virginia, and you want to be a part of this, sorry.
Yeah.
You don't live in one of these select 12 markets, can't do anything for you. Wes and I were talking the other day about Elijah Griffin, who is projected to be the number 1 player in the 2025 class at defensive line, who South Carolina is attempting to get to come here. He lives in Savannah, Georgia. He could not join any one of these teams because he does not live within one of these markets. And I feel like that's something about this too that hasn't been like fully fleshed out is, yeah, you can go to Atlanta and get a lot of good talent, but that doesn't mean it's all the best talent they're going to be forming this team. Again, assuming all the top players within Atlanta are going to want to join this team to begin with.
Right. And I think we saw it a little bit with the Donda Academy, the Kanye West. Let's look at this through the basketball prism. The Donda Academy did this kind of thing where it was playing the non-sanctions might not be the right word, but it was just trying to piece together a schedule to have these guys play. And then it becomes, well, if you're playing in this, where are you going to school? And, it's for as much as college athletics has changed, it's still student first, then athlete. It's still student athlete. Class matters. And so it's one of those things where it's like, where are these kids going to school? Are they going to have enough credits? Do those credits suffice for them to get a high school degree to then go play at South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, heck, let's just Michigan, like all of these schools that all of a sudden are like, well, are we really going to risk signing this kid and having him as a non-qualifier, and then we've wasted a scholarship on him? And it just, there's a lot of gray area that could really come back to hurt the league by proxy of kid not getting into school or something like that because of it.
My biggest problem with all this is I'm reading this from the ESPN article. Woods noted that the arrival of the transfer portal has produced a tougher environment for high school prospects seeking to gain the attention of colleges than might be willing to take a chance on players with college experience. The way that sounds is that the transfer portal is just preventing guys from getting recruited out of high school, which we obviously know is not the case. I to a degree understand what he's saying. It's like, well, why would you get a high school quarterback when you can get somebody that's, been in college for 2 or 3 years and get them out of the transfer portal? Does that happen to some degree? Yes, but I don't think it's this overwhelming problem that's sweeping college football. You still have to bring in a good recruiting class every single year, which, again, all the top programs and everybody around the country is attempting to do on a year in, year out basis. The transfer portal hasn't changed that.
Georgia has 17 commitments already in its 2024 recruiting class.
Yeah.
Good programs. It's different just for football. It's different for basketball. It's different for baseball to a degree and all that stuff. But just for football, who was in the college football playoff last year? Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? TCU.
Michigan.
Ohio State. More often than not, those are the programs recruiting the best in high schools.
Right.
CJ Stroud was not Now, Justin Fields was a transfer portal quarterback, but he was also playing on a team with a bunch of homegrown talent.
Yes.
Do we count Stetson Bennett as a transfer portal quarterback?
Well, when you go back to the school you were initially at,
But like Georgia recruits high school. Like how many of those guys on those back-to-back title teams were homegrown talents?
Right.
Most. how much of Michigan was homegrown talent. Most coaches, there are some coaches that love to recruit the transfer portal. Your Lane Kiffins,
Sure.
Mike Norvell's, but they're still mining the high school ranks. They're still getting trying to get high level blue chip talent. Same as South Carolina.
Right.
So it's not like you're going and it'd be different if it was like, you don't think Steve Sarkisian and Jimbo Fisher and, insert whoever else from Texas doesn't know about a 4-star, 5-star kid in Houston.
Right.
You don't think Kirby Smart, Shane Beamer, Billy Napier, Josh Heupel, or gestures to any other Power 5 school in the Southeast doesn't know about a 4 or 5-star kid in Atlanta?
Right.
Like, they know about these guys, and it's doing a disservice more to the 3-star. Like, let's say Nicholas Harbor is playing with a 3-star guy whose best offers are going to be, Appalachian State, James Madison, Coastal. And it's no disrespect to those schools, but they're not Power 5 schools at the moment. They're good G5s. It's doing a disservice to that kid because let's say Nick Harbor goes and wants to play in this league. That means less coaches are coming to watch Nick Harbor play. That means less film on Nick Harbor when a coach could watch that and go, well, who's this, offensive lineman? He could come play for us and be really good. So that's the question there. And it's doing a disservice to some of those kids more so than these 4 or 5-star guys that everyone's going to know about.
Right. This just kind of strikes me as one of those things, and I mentioned this to you last night, that we either never hear about again, or it does come to fruition and just ends up being a complete flop that doesn't get a second season.
Well, it's the funniest thing too with the UEFA. Didn't they want to do a Super League or with Manchester United and Real Madrid and all that?
That lasted all of a week.
I think Chelsea said, yeah, we're going to do it. And then the fans almost rioted.
Yes.
They were marching on to the stadium, and the Chelsea was like, oh, we were just kidding, guys.
Right.
That feels more like of what's going to happen.
Yeah. So something to keep an eye on. I don't have full confidence in this, but stranger things have happened, I guess.
Yes, stranger things have very much indeed happened, and we'll look like idiots in 10 years when this thing is turned into something insane.
I guess so. But until then, I'll have my doubts.
Yes. Same.
Up next, we'll get Colin's final thoughts on this Super Regional. Again, he will not be in studio with us tomorrow, and he has a philosophical question to pose at the end of the show. We'll hear that next on In the Bonus. Colin Taylor, I'm Tyler Head on 107.5 The Game.
Hey there, it's Big Voice Guy again. We told you recently that our main transmitter was damaged during a storm, and we are on our backup transmitter. And that could be affecting how you might pick up 107.5 The Game. Well, we figured it was time to give you an update. Our update is, there is no update. We're still waiting for the transmitter company to give us what we need so we can get our main transmitter up and running. So you can get back to listening to 107.5 The Game the way you used to listen. In the meantime, please download the 107.5 The Game app if you're having any issues. We appreciate your patience and understanding. Thanks for listening to 107.5 The Game.
OMG! New Jeeps, $10,000 off.
Gotta go to Galliano.
It's Jeep season at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. New Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month. Plus, we'll take any trade in any condition, and we'll get you out of your current lease or loan, even if you have months left or still owe thousands. You'll be shocked by how much Galliana will give you for your trade toward the purchase of a new Chrysler or Jeep. New Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com.
Gotta go to Galliano.
Max savings on Gladiator stock number 34014. Grand Cherokee stock number 37054. 36 month lease, $49.99 due at signing. Plus tax and tag and closing fee. No security deposit. Regular trade equity finance and new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers come combined. Expires monthly.
Enjoy the sounds of summer from Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers. Cannonball!